will hear traffic on my microphone because there is no way that I'm shutting the windows in this room.
No, it's boiling today.
This room's like
Word. It's actually kind of cool here today. It's
29,
been raining all week here. It's been
29
nuts.
degrees in here. 29 degrees. So, hey ho.
Let's see what that is in American temperature.
Fucking hot.
It's not that
Blackpool
hot,
60, Wolverhampton 68.
This room is
It's 8 degrees warmer where Chinny is, according to this.
is 29 degrees though.
Yeah. Well, let's see Celsius. Okay, so according to this, Blackpool is 16, Wolverhampton is 20.
So in this room it's 84 degrees Fahrenheit.
Celsius. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Celsius.
saying 18 here as well, so fairly not too hot.
Yeah. All
Bit
right, we ready
muggy.
to start?
Bit muggy though. It's muggy. That's
Okay.
trouble.
Yeah, we're
Well,
ready.
yes.
We're
Okay.
streaming. We're going.
Let's start the motherfucking show, bitch.
Here we go, baby. And it's happening.
Welcome yo to the veteran gamers. Juju, Chinny, and the fellas will tell you
Guard
about
your
every single
ears.
game that you're playing this week. News, reviews, and an indie pick. Stew story time and Chinny's game breakers. Here comes Duke with the soundbite saviors.
I'm not gonna get interrupted by stupid sound effects.
It's the veteran gamers.
Dude, what's with all the sound bites?
It's the veteran gamers.
I just want to say, f this game. I'm done.
Yeah, boy.
Shut the hell up!
So off before you have to press repeat, yo.
Your attention, please.
Hello and welcome to episode 755 of the Veteran Gamers podcast.
Yeah, 755. What's up, people? I'm Duke.
I'm Stu.
And I'm Chitty.
We are not
Yeah.
military veterans. We're veterans of the gaming lifestyle, people.
We are indeed. Can I just say, I just had a panic moment then. My screen just went black.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
It's all right. Came back on a second later, but I was like, "What's going on? Why is it suddenly gone black?" It's fine. Everything's fine. Nothing
Don't
to
say
see
that.
here.
Don't say
Yeah.
that.
Move along.
Yeah.
Move along.
Don't jinx it.
It's fine. But bloody hell, I was
Don't
at
jinx
1
it.
second.
Ah, Chinny disabled the screen sharing. I was all set. I had 3 of the Ned Flanders nothing at all images, and I was going to share my screen
Yeah.
and take over the stream.
Are
But
you
Chinny disabled
crazy?
it. He's smart. I don't know.
He knows what you're
There is
up to.
no way I would let you have screen sharing during the show. No.
God, that's
A lot of
like
people are more oblivious than you. That's all.
No chance.
recipe for
Yeah.
disaster.
It's hard
is
enough
what
trying to
that is.
control you two as it is.
Recipe for disaster. Jesus.
Um,
Anyway, how are you guys? How are you guys?
All right. I've been a bit ill.
Have you seen what? Is this due to the cold or is this other stuff?
I don't know. I've just not been right. I've had headaches and all
No.
that sort of stuff.
Health.
It's just
Having a little health.
every day I've got something new. I'm like, I think this is swollen now, and I think Tara keeps saying that I'm a hypochondriac, like
I
constantly.
was just about to say, have you got a bit of hypochondria? Is that the
She
problem
says
here?
it all the time. It's like, because I'm like, can you look down my throat to see if I've got like a white spot? Can you see if my
Oh,
armpit is
God.
thicker than my other armpit? And I'm like, yeah, but one day it's gonna be right, and she's
Well,
gonna feel really
yeah.
bad.
I guess. Do you know, Kay constantly asks me to look in her mouth or look in her ear or look in some weird place. I'm like, what? Why? What?
Yeah.
Why would I
Oh.
want to do that?
Hmm.
I don't want to do that.
Now that we have cell phones, you can look in your own
Oh.
fucking mouth, man. You
Oh,
don't need someone else
exactly.
looking in your mouth.
I tried
Oh,
that.
no.
I tried that. That's not good. It's
no,
not easy.
No. What happens is they ask you to hold their phone with the light on,
Yeah.
then you can see in the mouth better. That's what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
So, but I've got a slight headache at the moment. But I've just
Okay.
had
Sorry to hear it.
just had a curry, so that makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Is
get
that
all
going to
that-
affect a headache?
I don't know, but it made me feel better.
Well,
I don't
Sweat
know.
it out.
I mean,
Sweat
you
it out. That's what you're doing.
physician, heal thyself. Speaking of sweating it out, have I got a story for you?
Oh God.
Story time, fuck yeah. Coming again to tell a motherfucking story. About
I'm
your
going to give you a
lives. It's
choice.
not gaming
Whoops.
related.
God damn, that's a long song. Shut up,
It is.
Jim.
I'd forgotten all about that. Jesus Christ.
I thought it was shorter. Anyway, here's the question. You can hear about. Well, no, I'm not going to make you pick because there's nothing to say about the bird. I'm on TikTok. Whoop whoop.
I saw.
And if you follow me on TikTok, yeah, you see the bird. I got this bird outside my window. He will not go away. Is he out there right now? I don't see him right now, but he's been around. So anyway, that's not the big news. The big news this week is I got a jug of stuff I got to chug, and then they're going to stick a camera up my butt on Tuesday. What?
Nice. Ugh. Nobody wants that.
That's
Nobody.
nice. You've got to, everybody.
I have.
Everybody's got to have a hobby, though, haven't they, Duke?
So is this the thing where you chug it and then you shit through the eye of a needle for about 5 hours and then you're totally empty?
Pretty much.
And then you stick a camera up your ass to see what's going on in there.
Yeah,
I see.
And the Duchess can't take me home because she's got a thing that afternoon. So a friend of mine's going to come take me home. That's how you find out who your true friends are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And I had to do that for my brother when he had a camera up there. Yeah.
Up
So,
the anus.
Right up the butt.
Is there a reason, or is it just age?
That's time, yeah. I've entered the age range at a certain point, and the doctor said you could do there's a thing called Cologuard where you poop in a box and then you send it away. But apparently that's only good for like 1 or 2 years. And if you do the camera up the butt and everything's clear, then you're good for 10 years.
Okay.
And the doctor said that it's more reliable to do the camera up the butt, so that's what I'm
But
going to do. And I was supposed to do it in December, but my friend went and fucking died, so I had to go to his funeral.
Selfish.
How
It was selfish of him, man. He could have delayed it a little bit.
But the thing is,
I made a bracelet out of a belt that his wife gave me.
I poo in a box every day, so I just do that for fun, and I post it to different people. By the way, unrelated, Stu, you've got something in the post coming to you.
Oh.
Just no, you haven't. No, it was a joke. It was the poo in the box. Stu, you haven't.
I get it.
I thought something actually was coming then for a second. I was getting excited. For
no, it's related to the thing.
Let me ask you this, all right? You've got it like so. How old are you now, Duke?
I'm 48.
48, right? I'm 52, 4 years.
Yes.
You don't stick a camera up our butts, man. You go for a well-manned checkup, and they do loads of blood tests and stuff, check diabetes, and they check all that shit. But that's it. There's no like camera up the butt. What's going on? We don't get a camera up our butts. I don't know.
It's a good question. Like why they do it in the U.S. and not the U.K.
Yeah, well,
I mean, at some point you'll probably need to do it, right?
I quite fancy a camera up my butt. I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
Well, we don't need to know all that about you, but you do sound like the guy on Wheel of Fortune. Did y'all see that video clip of the dude? They had. I mean, it does fit the pattern of the letters.
Tavares, right in the butt.
There you go. There you go. But,
imagine Wheel of Fortune making that the.
Wow.
But quite honestly, I'm getting a bit of FOMO. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
Why don't I get a comment?
Well, I'll let you know how it is, and I'll let you know whether you should have that FOMO. So.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see next week after the event.
Well,
to be fair,
my brother said it wasn't pleasant, so I don't think.
Even the run-up. I mean, no one wants to have the shits when you don't need them, do you? Really?
And I've had to be on what's called a soft diet for 2 days, so I can't have any vegetables. I'm not supposed to eat anything spicy. There's all these things I'm not supposed to eat. Well, yeah, but I have potato salad, and that has skin on it, and this potato skin, and like some chopped up vegetables.
Literally mashed potatoes. That's all you can have.
The Duchess is making some fish and rice for dinner.
Whitefish. Whitefish is okay.
I can have fish. Yep.
Rice.
So anyway, it hasn't been too bad, and it's healthy once in a while to not have everything available to you because you appreciate it more later.
So you're detoxing.
What a detox.
Yeah.
Yeah, detoxing. And also, you're going to empty whatever's in there's coming out.
Oh, yeah. No, that I would enjoy. I would enjoy that. Like, just getting it all, getting out. Yeah.
Whatever's in there.
Like, you know when they have a colonic, and you see it all coming out, like years old poo stools. Just like, get rid of all that.
That'll be Duke. That'll be Duke. That's what's happening this week.
I'd like that.
Moldy turd.
All right, I think we should move on from this.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm sorry I brought it up.
I'll tell you what, Jason will have loved this.
Oh yeah, it's his favourite episode
this is
so
Jason's favourite episode.
He's gonna be like, oh, best episode they've ever done. Talking about food. Anyway,
I got a new soundboard. I redid my soundboard. It looks amazing. Listeners don't need to worry about it. But I also got a new book. Oh snap! I got a new book.
Oh my god!
Where's the? I reorganized my soundbite. Where's the thing? Oh, here it is. Wait. Yeah, there we go.
What you been reading?
It's called Critical Hits: Writers Playing Video Games. Yeah, and it's really good. Like, there's lots of books about video games, but often they're written by people who don't write very well, and then writers often don't care about video games. So this is the, you know, the Venn diagram of good writers and video game addicts. That doesn't really overlap very often. So this is a really interesting look at those two worlds.
Ah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just
And
read.
one little bit that I thought
Are
Chinny
you just,
might like.
are you just reading it there?
reading it now.
Oh, yeah. I
You
was
guys
waiting.
talk. I'm just going to be
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Waiting.
No, but this woman is in the introduction. She talks about a lot of things. I've posted some on Threads, I think. Anyway, she talks about going on this tour for a memoir, which was dealing with, you know, some difficult stuff in her life. And she said, I brought a Nintendo Switch for the tour. At the end of almost every event, I went back to my hotel room and played Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. One of the only ways I knew how to come back into my body, because I was always gone after those readings and Q&As, always completely disassociated and vacated and empty, was that stupid little tune that played when you cooked a meal.
Oh, God. Yeah.
The crackle of fire, a grunt, and then a humming, the clatter of metal striking metal, the rhythmic sizzle and bubble of ingredients, the flourish of horns at completion, Link's delighted laugh. Sometimes I didn't even do side quests or paraglide over the landscape or fight monsters. I just cooked digital food until I fell asleep.
Wow.
I mean,
So,
it's weird.
there you go.
As soon as you said that, I could distinctly remember what it sounded like. That's how
Yeah.
much it gets in your head. The little tune it plays when you cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to
Yeah,
do a lot of
totally.
cooking in that game.
You do. It totally gets
Yes,
in
you
your
do.
head.
So you hear this a lot.
Yeah. I hear that a lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
It's so
Don't worry, I
weird.
added it to the soundboard.
Brilliant.
I got you, fam.
Great.
More
So if
stuff.
if I want to cook
Yeah.
stuff, I should use that, shouldn't I, these days?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't got much story-wise, to be honest. I've got a DIY project tomorrow, so I'm actually getting
Go
the
on.
compound sliding mitre saw. Now, that's a lot of stuff to say.
Wow. That sounds fancy.
Okay.
That's coming out of storage because I am replacing the top of my outdoor kitchen, which has rotted away, and it's tiled. We tiled it onto plywood, and we painted all the plywood, but it's rotted anyway. It didn't make any difference. But it lasted.
Now,
6
is this the
years.
place where your pizza oven is?
It was, but not anymore. So I've got a new one. So I have a new pizza oven now.
Yes.
So I've still got the old one that's in storage, but we got a Ninja. I mean, Ninja has taken over everything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have.
Fucking hell. And then it turns out they made vacuums. It's Shark, isn't it? So it's the same
Shark,
people who
yeah.
Shark. So, but we got the Ninja outdoor wood-fired oven.
Yeah.
So it does pizzas, but we also smoked a chicken in it, and that was really good. So we stuck a chicken in there and smoked it. Honestly, it does everything. We've done beef in it. You can do whatever you want. Just stick it in there, and away you go. So yeah,
I'm glad it has
recommend
many purposes because it seemed a little odd to have an entire device just for pizzas. But if it does chicken and other things too,
It does chicken. It does. You can do smoked brisket. You know, you can do sort of anything like smoked ribs. So you can do all
you
sorts.
cook a
of
peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Probably. I don't know. You can do chicken drumsticks, chicken legs. You can do all sorts of stuff in it. It's great. So yeah, very impressed. And the pizzas are excellent. So yeah, they're better.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but the uni was good, but these are better.
He's a better.
They're better. So there you go. If you ever come up again, Chinny, I'll make you pizzas. Real life pizzas. So there you go. So yeah, I'm going to replace the top of the pizza oven. Well, not the pizza oven, but the outdoor kitchen. And hopefully, once that's done, it's the final job this year because it's just been pissing it down all the time. So you just can't do
Yeah.
anything you need to do outside. It's absolutely shocking. So
It's meant to be
anyway,
roasting next week, isn't it?
yeah, well, I'm hoping it's roasting the week after because that's when I'm on holiday.
Nah, it won't do that. That's not how British weather works.
I know, it'd be pissing it down. Right, anyway, this isn't gaming related, so maybe we should talk about some video games. Some gamers.
Where are you going? Story time's over, isn't it?
What you been playing?
What you been playing? What you been playing?
Worst podcast ever.
So, Duke, off you go. Go on. I'll let you go
Yes.
first. Why not?
Right. So why not? Once Human is a game that's coming out on July 9th, but the demo is still
Oh.
live. So I'm like, hey, I can keep playing the demo. But here's the thing: it's the this is the dumbest thing in the world. The box art on Steam. You know, you have like the art that hovers over the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not great. The OG box art, like the one that comes with the demo, like it's not wonderful. So I was like, I need to make a new box art, right? So I went and found some screenshots. I found the logo and I made a new cover art, right? It took maybe an hour.
Okay.
And by the time I went back to the game, the goddamn demo was offline.
You fool. You fool.
I'm such an idiot. I spent time making a cover art when I could have been playing the game. So I couldn't play the game anymore. So then I'm like, all right, well, how am I going to get this itch scratched? You know, crafting, adventure. Because, you know, as I've said, Once Human, awesome game. I'm really looking forward to it. July 9th. It's like 2 weeks away now. And it does that thing of combining RPG elements, including quest logs, which Rust doesn't have and a lot of games don't have, actual quests to do, with survival elements, right? And a lot of RPG games don't have that. So it's the beautiful marriage of the two. So I was like, what about POW World? And let me go back to POW World.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, considering how much press that got when it released, I've not heard about that game for probably about a month or two. Nothing. Not a sausage. Nothing.
It's really not. I mean, if you like Pokemon, like it's great for you, you know? And I think the reason so many people lost their minds over it is because they were desperate for a new Pokemon game, which it kind of is. But I don't like Pokemon, and it doesn't have any quests. It's just like, go out and get all the Pokemon. And I'm like, I don't care about Pokemon. So I went back to Enshrouded. And
you did like that.
Enshrouded is a very good game. I was burned out on it, and the reason is because at certain points it's very hard because you need a crew with you for certain quests. And I was like, I don't need a crew with me, because some games, you know, they'll tell you need other people with you, and some games you can do it yourself, right?
Yep.
But in this game, you've got to have other people with you. There were like 30 enemies attacking me, and it's just not possible to take them down. So I was like, so I'm still playing Enshrouded. I started over, actually. I rage quitted when I hit that wall, and then I uninstalled it. And then like a day later, I was like, no, I want to start over because, you know, start it up. And so I've started up Enshrouded again. And it's, you know, it's one of those games where you learn a lot the first time through. So I'm playing better the second time now, going through the game. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's nothing new to say about it, but I am having fun going through Enshrouded for the second time. And it's, you know, it's not what I want to be playing right now, but because Once Human is not out yet, it'll do for now. So
yeah, it's interesting you say that. There's a guy I work with, Danny, who I sold my Steam Deck to, so that's who I sold it to. And it literally just became his Elden Ring player. That's all he played on the Steam Deck for months and months and months. He used to be a massive World of Warcraft player, like played loads of it, had some really valuable characters and gear and all that, you know, all the stuff that these people who play for hours and hours and hours and hours and days and days and days do. So much so he used to like skive off work and stuff to play it. That's how bad he was. And he was in two different groups of people, like doing different roles just so he could play it more. I mean, he was full on addicted. And he's not been much different with Elden Ring. He played it for months and months and months, killed the Elden Lord. Then he bought it on Xbox and started over again. Then he did another build on the Steam version of another type of character and was doing that. Then his son started playing it. Then he was playing with his son. Oh my God. I mean, he is totally addicted to it. But I get the starting over because he does that all the time and he isn't bothered. But he said, like, the second time you play it, you're so much better at it and you get through everything so much.
That's more than 12 hours. What if we run out?
What?
I have no idea what that soundbite was for.
Sorry, I was trying to find a sound clip and I accidentally had it off mute. So yeah, but no, they're crazy. They go nuts with the obsessive gameplay, you know.
It's very yeah. It's like crack to some people.
Oh God,
absolutely.
yeah.
Including Cartman.
More Hot Pockets!
There you go.
He got to the point where he told me he literally had to like get rid of his PC because his wife was
That's
so
a problem.
angry.
That's
a
crazy.
problem.
You know, because he was just stopping up until 3-4 o'clock in the morning, couldn't function. You know, because he was just
That's
so
a problem.
Anyway, he's got over it. He's not as bad now, but he still plays quite a bit.
He's got over it, but he's addicted to heroin now.
Yeah, he's addicted.
Well, it sounds like he's a little more moderate with his Elden Ring playing.
Yes, he's not, and I think it's because although there is that little bit of a multiplayer element, it's not the same because
it's nothing like WoW.
No, when you're in WoW and you've got to do those quests every week, and you've got to do what did they call them? It's not a quest, is it? They call it
raids.
A raid. Yeah, when you've got to do all those raids, and they're like, "Oh, we've got it set, and it's 5 o'clock tonight, and you've got to be there."
Right.
He was always there, regardless, and he was in 2.
See, that's the thing, right? It's this idea of like the community needs me, and in a way that's admirable, right? Like it's a good thing to be supportive of a community, but there's a difference between showing up for your community and letting the needs of this gaming group sort of ruin your life.
Oh yeah, and he definitely didn't ruin his life, but he was getting there.
He was getting there.
He was getting there.
Mm-hmm. Gotta watch out.
Gotta be so careful. Gotta be careful, people. Moderation. Moderation is the key.
Yes, everything in moderation, including moderation.
Indeed. Anything else more to say?
Not right now on those. That's a good overview of the main part of my week. There's some other things, but I'll get to them. Don't worry.
Okay, Chinny, over to you. What have you got?
Well, I've only got Play My Game, or does it hold up? So.
Well, shall I? I've only got one other game as well, to be fair, because
yeah.
Kay's still off work. 4 weeks. It's hard. It's hard, man.
Partying.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah. The only other thing I've played is Alan Wake 2 Night Springs DLC. And I've not finished the first one, but I think I'm very close. These are very short episodes.
How long?
So about an hour, I reckon. Right. I mean, this guy on the videos plays them pretty quick, but I'm guessing he's, rushing through them. I don't know. But yes, I've played the #1 fan, so that's the first one I've started playing.
And that's the waitress.
It's the waitress.
Wow.
It's so tongue-in-cheek. I reckon the tongue sticking out of the other side of the cheek. I mean, it's completely batshit bonkers crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start off as the waitress in the cafe. Everybody loves her. So it's this weird fantasy world where like everyone loves her. And you go into some guy says, have you got a copy of the books? Because he wants a copy of Alan Wake's book. Who would want that is anyone's guess. Well, let's be honest, because they are trashy, aren't they? Terrible things. So he says, you got a copy of the book? And she's like, oh, yeah, of course. I've got one in the back room. So she disappears off in the back room to get a book. But when she gets there, do you remember those, is it Billy the Bass or whatever that used to be on the wall and you press
the singing fish.
Singing fish.
Right, yeah.
Well, there's one of those on the wall in the back room. And when you press it, Alan Wake's voice comes through it telling that he needs you to help save him because he's being kept prisoner by his alter ego twin brother dude called, what's he called? Scratch. So Scratch keeping him hostage, so you need to go and save him. So that's kind of the setup. It's very ridiculous. And as she comes, so she says, don't worry, I'll get my equipment, right, which I keep in the kitchen. You go in the kitchen, and she's literally got an arsenal in like a storage cupboard off the kitchen, like shotguns, rifles, handguns, crossbows.
Why does she have all that?
I don't know.
It's America.
She's ready for action, man. She's ready for action.
She is. I wish I had a gun. I would shoot this fucking bird. Can you hear it banging on the window?
Nope.
Oh, it looked really cute.
Bird.
So you grab the gun, you grab all your weapons and strap up, and then everybody's cheering as you're walking out the diner. They're all giving you a round of applause. It's completely bonkers. And then it's just, there's no, can we just say this is happening at dusk. So there's no shadows to get rid of on the enemies. You just shoot the shit out of them.
Right.
And it's almost unlimited ammo. It's almost like God mode. You get so much ammo thrown at you. It's you've got too much to do anything with. And it is.
Oh, it's on!
A lot of fun. I mean, shooting all these people in the face, and it's pretty graphic. I mean, I didn't realize there was so much dismemberment in this game, but yeah, like.
Often you're dismembering tractors and stuff and zombies, I guess.
Not so much in Alan Wake 2, to be fair. Not so much.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear it.
But arms are blown off, legs are blown off, sides of faces.
Is this a dream sequence or something?
I have not a clue what this is. I feel like this is just in her completely bonkers, I don't know, psyche. I just feel like it's part of her head. It's. I don't think any of it's real. Obviously, I think it's just her fantasy of what she sees Alan Wake being as her number one, being the number one fan, etc. And she's got to go and save him. I don't know. It gets. I mean, I've got to a boss fight at the end, and I'm guessing that's the end of the chapter. And I died a couple of times, so I was like, I'll come back to that. But I'm guessing that's the end. It doesn't. It really didn't take very long. And it's just
And there's two more, aren't there?
There's two more with other characters out of the Alan Wake universe. Crossover. There's some crossover stuff as well.
I know you're the control
Did
girl.
you finish this, Stu?
No, I said I was very.
on the
I
last
think
boss.
I'm on the last boss.
Sorry. I'm just asking because, like, according to howlongtobeat.com, the Night Springs expansion is 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So maybe you got through it faster.
No, it's only the first episode, and I reckon it's probably taken me about 45 minutes to get to the to the boss at the end of.
How much is the DLC then? How much is the whole?
It was It was 12 quid.
Bloody hell! You're bloody raking it in. Raking it in. You're absolutely loaded.
But let's be honest, right? You can barely get a fucking pint in London for 12 quid.
It's true.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So
London.
3 hours of
This thing
entertainment.
here, I'm looking.
Good value.
I'm looking at here. It says you're forced to buy the season pass. Is that true?
Yes. So
Includes this in the next DLC?
Yeah.
Bastards.
So, I know. So I went on Epic
Scamming
Games
bastards.
Store. And I was looking for it just as DLC, and it ain't there. So you have to. But luckily, it was on offer. It should have been. I think it was. It wasn't a lot off. I think it should have been like 15, and it was reduced to 12. So I was like, it's 12 quid, and I get whatever else.
Got a
comes
deal.
Out. Yeah, I
that's
got whatever
true.
else comes out.
Because
So
you'll
I
want to
was-
play it anyway.
Oh, definitely. So I was fine with that. I was like, 12 quid's fine. 3 quid an episode, or 4 quid in it, 4 quid an episode.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I didn't think it was too terrible. Yeah, pretty good. I like it. If
Pretty
you're
good.
into Alan Wake 2, and I know loads of people haven't played this, which is weird, but there you go. But you should play the game anyway. But you should, if you've got the game, you should definitely play this. I really liked it. It was just stupid, stupid fun. Stupid fun. Chitty, do you want Duke to go again and then come back to you, or
Yeah, go to Duke and then we'll
Duke.
come back.
Okay, right. So when I was looking around for my replacement game for before Once Human came out, I realized we had talked last week about State of Decay 2. And I went looking and I was like, hey, it's on Game Pass. What am I doing? Why wouldn't I play this? So I gave it a whirl. And it's not bad. I'm not in love with it. Like, it didn't grab me the way that Once Human did, or even Enshrouded. I dove into Enshrouded pretty hard when I first started playing it. And this game is good. It's just not amazing. You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't do anything wrong. I don't have any criticisms exactly. It's just that one thing that bugs me is that, I mean, okay, so you start out, it's a good story start. You get to choose between like 4 different couples of people. There's a brother and a sister. I think there's 2 guys who might be in love. There's a gal and a guy who's in love, and then there's 2 women who's in love. And all other things being equal, whatever. I'm going to tend to go for the lesbians because a lot of my friends are lesbians. So whatever. I play as the 2 ladies, and it's got some nice little Mass Effect style convos with your followers. So you get into this sort of, you and a few other people set up a little base together, right? And then you have to go out to get supplies. And your person that you're with is hurt. They get bit by a zombie, but don't worry, there's a cure for it. So it's not the end of everything when someone gets bit, the way it is in, for weak people like Lee in Walking Dead. But anyway, so you get set up, and then you tell your person, hang out here while I go get supplies. And then you have another person go with you to go get supplies, right? And so, when they're walking with you, you have this little conversation, kind of like Mass Effect, just chatting about their life in the past and like, where you've been and who they, you get to know the characters as you're running around killing some zombies and stuff. You climb a tower and survey stuff in the same way you do in Ubisoft games and whatnot, but it is an active process. So it's not just push a button and then the map opens up, but it's kind of like in
I remember
Immortals,
this.
Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, I remember that you got to like sort of look at it and then it comes up the map. And is that right?
Right. Yeah, and it's kind of like the same thing in Ghost Recon Wildlands. Like, you could send your drone up and then like look at a place, and then it would. Yeah. It had a question mark, but then you concentrate on it for a minute, and it would reveal what it is. Yeah. It's kind of like that. The combat's fine. I feel like it's when you kill a zombie, you don't get anything from them. And that's not a huge deal because there's lots of containers and, you know, crates and stuff to open. But it still is a little weird to kill a zombie and get nothing off of them because I'm so used to games, kill a monster and get stuff, you know?
Get something.
So, you know,
To
I
be
would
fair,
like to have a little
to
something.
be fair, though, if it was real life and you killed a zombie, you'd just get guts. You're
Yeah,
just getting
They
guts.
might have
true.
something.
I mean, unless it's a cop.
They might have something in their pockets too.
I guess.
Have a lighter.
Yeah, maybe.
But also,
maybe.
if it's real life, I would not be killing any zombies.
That's also true.
I'm going to be useless in the zombie apocalypse.
Running's what you'll be doing.
I'll try to run. I'm not.
Yeah,
you
I've
know,
got to
I'm
say,
not in
maybe
great
that
shape
wouldn't
for
work
running.
much. No. Yeah,
I
well,
can get on my skateboard.
do you know what? That might change if there's a zombie on your ass.
I once said to a student who's like, "Why don't you go running for exercise?" I was like, "I go running when someone's chasing me with an axe."
Well, did you, just out of interest, and I don't know whether you know, did you know that there used to be, I don't know whether it's still available, this is a long time ago, but there used to be an app on that you could download from the Android store, which was called something like Zombie Run. And
I remember I downloaded that once.
Yeah, when you were jogging, you get noises of zombies coming towards you. You know,
It was
so
more than that. It was like a whole story about
Yeah.
like, we need you to go find this person. They're like half a mile away.
Yeah.
And so you'd go for a half a mile walk. And it was cute. It was interesting. But it as someone who plays a lot of video games, it was lacking because I knew there was no connect and there was no way to connect what I was doing to the things I was hearing. You know what I mean? There was no way to like, even if I had been turned around and gone home, it would have still said, "You're almost
Yeah.
there." And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, come on. Like, come on.
It's more of a
So,
motivational.
but it's an interesting idea.
Motivational thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think it would be, I can imagine, I mean, with Pokemon Go plus that concept, I can totally see it actually being something where like you set an actual building a half mile away and then you, you go there and.
But there was also, I mean, in real life they do it, don't they, as well? They do these zombie
Oh
fun
yeah,
runs.
that's a thing.
Oh,
isn't
sure.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's LARPing. LARPing's
It's
always been
LARPing.
so weird to me.
Kind of, but it's almost give you that bit of motivation. And if you get caught, though, you have to go to a compound, don't you? So they do that as well.
You
It's
can
all a
try to
bit-
make me go to a compound. I ain't going to no compound.
all a bit weird.
Suddenly the games have changed.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway.
The other thing, so I hit a point in State of Decay 2 where it said that the person was exhausted, and so each person has their stamina meter, and when you hit a certain amount of fatigue, you have to rest. Okay, so what you do is you go to the group screen and you pick a different person to be, and then the person you were being will rest. Right? Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. However, I did that, and then I left the compound as person B, and person A was supposed to stay home and rest. And person A was like following me out. And I'm like, stay here and rest. And they just kept following me. And I was like, I don't know what to do. So I was like, whatever. Maybe it's some sort of glitch. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. And the other thing that bugs me about this game is that you can't skip the night.
Right,
In a lot of
okay.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? A lot of games, you go to sleep and then it'll,
Yeah.
fast forward. Shrouded does that. I don't know if it can't do that in Once Human because it's an MMO. But,
Yeah.
on Rust, there are a lot of servers where, and this does it on Minecraft too, like if enough people go to sleep, then it'll skip fast forward over the night. You can do a vote in Rust. And I mean, maybe they'll do that in Once Human, but so far as I can tell, there's no way to do that in State of Decay. I did a bunch of searches and people were just like, that's when I make stuff with all the supplies I've been gathering. And I'm like, I have to do quests out there. And it's not pitch black. It's just a little annoying to go out at night in this game.
Dark, yeah.
So I'm just like, I just prefer not to. So again, it's a good game in many ways. I should keep playing. I probably will. I hope I will, because there's no reason for me to stop playing it. It's just it didn't make me want to keep going very much. So.
Yeah, I must admit, when I played Dying Light, you could skip the night, but if you went out at night, you got more XP and better like weapons and stuff. But I never did. I used to hate it. It was awful, and the zombies were harder. They were faster, and I'm like, I don't want to be out in this. So I just.
But what did you do at night then?
Yeah, you could go to a safe house and then just fast forward.
There
to
were
the
some
north.
missions though in
Oh, you
Dying
can
Light
fast
that
forward
you,
it, sorry.
that you have to do at night.
Yeah,
there was some
yeah.
missions
There were a
that-
couple of compulsory missions
Yeah,
at night, but
which
I
was
just
annoying.
did those. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just did those because it was horrible. I hated going out at night.
Mm, mm.
But some people loved
Apparently in
doing it.
Dying Light 2 there's more night missions.
Right. I hated it.
Yeah.
It was just horrible. And it was so unnerving and sort of just like, oh my
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
I don't want to be out here at all. It's horrible.
Yeah,
And it was
I don't like games like
really dark as well, so you really couldn't see anything. And the next thing, some fucking hunter zombies on your head.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God. Yeah, exactly. It was horrible. Horrible. But it did a good job. I mean, it worked because
right. That's the effect they're shooting for, and so it's effective at what they're
As
doing.
soon
And
as
some
I
people
heard-
really like that kind of thing. So
As soon as I heard the there used to be like a warning siren to let you know it was approaching. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, right, where's the nearest safe house?
Off to bed.
you sound like that.
Yeah, something like that. That will do. It was enough. I was just like, I'm out of here. Anyway. So yeah, so you're going to keep playing?
Maybe. Probably. We'll see. Maybe. That's the best I can give you right now.
That's not a definite commitment, I don't think.
No, it is not.
If
I
I'm
cannot
being
give you a definite
totally
commitment.
honest.
Especially because I had my week off of school, just to decompress and do nothing. I had my house guest last week. I got the butt cam coming up this week, and then I got to start working on books. I got a book to publish this summer, and I got another one I got to write. So sequel to Nimbus X hopefully happening this fall. We'll see.
Well, you never know. The follow-up.
Never
Well, not
know.
the follow-up.
Stay
The
tuned,
sequel,
people.
is it? Sequel.
It will be the sequel.
Continuation of the story.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go. Right,
All right, are we doing...
Does it hold up? Shall we do Does it hold up?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
we'll do that.
up? Does it hold up? Does it hold up?
Right.
Yes.
Part of the show where we talk about games that are 10 years old. We're talking about Uncharted 4.
Which isn't quite 10 years old.
Not
but we're
quite 10
doing it
years old, but
anyway.
we're doing it anyway.
Doing it anyway. Yeah, I'll be honest. I think we've both done this. I've had such a busy week. I've been doing other stuff, so I've only managed 2 chapters.
Yes, only 2
these-
chapters. But they're big chapters now, Stu.
I was going to say, this game feels so much bigger than the other
Yeah.
three, isn't it? The other 3 games.
So where we left off is we fell off a cliff. We did a
Fell off a cliff.
flashback mission, and now we're with Elena, aren't we?
We are confessing
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh,
Some
hey, oh.
PC problems there.
What's on that?
Sorry.
No, it's so basically you got a mission with Elena, and then there's a bunch of enemies, and you have to go up a lift. And I thought the bit where you're hanging off the lift, shooting enemies was quite fun.
I liked all of that. Again, they do. What I've got to say with this game compared to the others seem to have 1 or 2 big, massive set pieces, didn't they?
Yeah.
Whereas this seems to have loads of little set pieces
Yeah.
and some big ones as well. So it kind of mixes it up between small ones and big ones.
Yeah,
And even
there's
the
not
small ones
the
are pretty
big
good.
there's not the big signature set piece though in this one. It doesn't feel like. I think the bridge was the thing that I remember
The bridge,
seeing.
I was going to say the bridge is the closest.
Yeah, but
to
like,
that.
really, when you compare that to the other Uncharted, it's almost like they were trying to top the previous one they did. But this one, they just
Yeah.
said, you know what, we're just going to tell the story, and wherever the story takes us, that's what we're going to do. No, I really liked it. Another great driving section in this one as well, where you're
Yeah.
with Elena. Just really good. Like but you're really trying to navigate the car around some tough areas, and it's all slipping and sliding. And generally, Stu, I think Nathan Drake should just never go over another bridge ever again.
No, they all break, don't
Because
they?
it
They all
never
fall to
works,
bits.
does it?
No,
Like, as
they
soon
all
as you
fall
see
to
a long
bits.
bridge, you're like, this is going to go badly.
Fool me once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I just say they've come a long way since the jet ski? That's
I know.
That's all I'm
I
saying.
know.
They
Oh,
have
crazy.
come a
Because at
long
one
way
point you
since the jet
drive
ski.
in quite high water in the Jeep, don't you? And
Yeah.
It reminded me of the jet ski moment because you're with Elena when you do that, and I'm like, oh god, remember when we had to?
There was a
slip through
bit.
this?
Can I just say, I don't know whether you found this or whether it's just me being stupid. But there's a bit where you have to get back to the Jeep, don't you? Like at the beginning of all this section, and you come to
Yes,
this
yeah.
section where there's quite a lot of enemies
Yeah.
and there's quite a few buildings and there's loads of them around. You have to sneak about and kill them all.
Yeah.
And then you finally get to the Jeep, and I had no clue where I was meant to be going. I'm like,
Oh,
how do you
dear,
get out of here?
Stu.
What the hell's going on?
Oh dear.
And the
Yeah, you have to
first
sort of
time-
go back on yourself a little bit because
Yeah, I had no idea where to go, and I'm like, I don't know where to go. And then she said there's like a hint thing, and I'm like, for fuck's sake, I can't believe I'm having to press this.
Yeah.
And Elena goes, "Oh yeah, we need to. There's a gap in the waterfall." And I'm like, so I actually ran back across the level. I'm like, that's where.
Yeah.
So you got to go down and then all the way back
All
up
the way
again.
back up,
haven't you?
yeah. I know. I remember that. Yeah, yeah. I mean, when I'd say, it took me like 5 seconds to realise that, but I
Of
remember,
course
I
it
remember
did.
thinking, oh right, that's a bit confusing, but yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, there's the bit I really like the bit where you lose the Jeep over the bridge. You know, you crash into the water and the bridge is just gone, isn't it? Because you're going down the river and you got to jump out of it, and yeah, just good stuff. Good stuff.
It's good. It's all good. It's good. It's like a really good popcorn movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Is how I would describe this game. It's like decent enough acting and really cool action set pieces. And let's be honest. Sorry, go on, Duke.
I was just telling Chinny you should put it on the screen so that the
Oh, yeah,
viewers
that
can
would be
enjoy.
helpful.
No.
I'm looking at my nose, so I won't looking. But yeah, that being said, there's not many games do what they do, is there? When you think about it, there aren't many games that are structured like a movie. You know, where you have like downtime, then you have big set pieces, then you have massive action sequences.
Is that true though?
Well, name me another one that does that, because I can't.
Call of Duty games are very cinematic in that sense of action.
It's a long time since I played one of those, so that's
Yeah.
probably the reason I didn't think of it.
Maybe you should have said it's a long time since you've played one.
Naughty Dog does it better than anyone, I think.
Oh yeah.
I guess I feel like Red Dead felt kind of cinematic in certain ways in terms of like there's acts, there's moments of high adventure, and then moments of more travel or downtime.
Like the
and stuff.
jailbreak thing's cool in
I just think that's a general thing that a lot of stories do, including a lot of the best video games. Is that GTA I think has that interplay between action and downtime.
I think
and
it's
stuff.
because there's not many games do it, is there? That's the thing, and there's not many games do it well.
Not a lot of games do it well, and I think it's a little different in a game like this, which is a single-player, not open-world game. The more time goes on, the more open worlds we have, and then you get to choose how much time you rest. Whereas in a game like this, it's on rails, right? Like you're watching a lot of cutscenes and stuff like that, and yeah.
The next chapter we go to New Devon, Stu.
We do. We finally get there, don't we? To the pirate stronghold.
You know what? I really think a really good investment for Nathan Drake would be a helicopter.
Well, obviously,
It would get blown up as soon as he gets in it.
Can I just say, Rafe's got something going on because yet again,
He's already there.
He's there, and there's loads of armed men with him with fucking rocket launchers, and they've like Elena and Nathan have to go through underwater sequences, like through fucking broken down houses. How the hell did he keep getting there?
Just get a helicopter, Nathan.
It's magic. It's
Just look from above and go, that sort of looks like where we're going to go. We'll go there. It wouldn't be as good a game. It'd be quite a boring game. I think it's like, we found the place we got to land. We've landed. We've got the treasure. We're out.
I know. The one thing I did pick up on, they acknowledge that Sam could have been dead. I quite like that.
But
because they say,
and he's not dead.
At least Sam's still alive or something. Or he's not dead. So I thought that was kind of cool that they actually acknowledged that at least.
Yeah. And then we find where the pirates were sitting, and most of them died because they all got poisoned.
Supper.
Yeah,
the
sort of
Last Supper.
And then we find out that they got poisoned, and then the two that poisoned them, they went at war with each other. Basically, so it's an absolute shit show, isn't it? This pirate stuff.
These pirates, like Utopia, was a right.
By the way, it's known as Libertalia, and apparently this was there was a book about it, but historians don't believe it ever actually existed. But it is based upon a thing, a legend of a place.
Yeah,
where they all went to live in Utopia, and that just didn't happen.
I mean, I said from the start, a bunch of pirates getting together isn't a good idea, really. You know what I mean?
No.
It's just not going to end well.
It speaks to the fact that pirates, like the term pirates, refers to a whole lot of different people. And, if you look at the people in Somalia right now who are engaged in piracy, a lot of them are like, doing piracy for the same reason people rob banks if they live in a place with not a lot of opportunity. You know what I mean? Like there's some aggression towards society that happens if you rob a bank, but a lot of times it's also like, society has thrown them away, and therefore, there's a lot of different kinds of people who engaged in piracy, just as there's a lot of types of people who engage in street crime today.
Well, it's like, I mean, a good example of this in the UK is like the Great Train Robbery. What was he called? The guy who did that? I can't remember who he's called. It was called Dave. But the guy who did it became kind of a bit of a legend. You know, people actually thought he was great because he did it and he got away with it. You know, he like stole all this money off this train, and I think it was something like the post office or something like that. So it's some sort of government agency that he stole.
Royal Mail train heading from Glasgow to London.
Correct. What was he called? Was it Ronnie?
Bruce Reynolds.
Really?
The leader of the gang, according to this, was named Bruce Reynolds. He was other gang members included. This is the lead of the Wikipedia article. Gordon Goody, Buster Edwards, Charlie Wilson, Roy James, John Daly, Jimmy White, Ronnie Biggs.
Ronnie Biggs is a famous one, though. Everyone seems to know Ronnie Biggs.
According to this, it's Bruce Reynolds.
Yeah,
Jimmy White? Isn't he a snooker player?
Maybe was the cool dude.
Yeah.
Maybe Ronnie Biggs was the cool dude, but Bruce Reynolds was ostensibly the one in charge, and so he was mad that Ronnie Biggs got more famous than him.
Maybe Ronnie Biggs was the only one who escaped. He got away with it.
It could be because he had a personality that was very, it was huge. It was enormous. It was
large.
Ronnie
Large.
Ronnie Large, but he lived in Spain. He went into Spain or something, and he got away with being extradited for years and years.
Lovely.
And years. Okay. But everyone loved him. That's the point of this. You know, people thought he was amazing.
And you know who everybody loves? Nathan Drake.
Nathan Drake. You see, he's a lovable rogue.
Everybody loves him.
Well, it's like in Mexico, there are people who like make songs about like the big drug dealers because they are folk heroes in a way. You know?
And also don't want to get killed by them.
Something that other people can't do. Well, there's that too. Yeah.
Well, there's that, but they also gave loads of money to poor people, like you know, and that's how they got everyone on side because he just gave them loads of cash, which was nothing to them.
You know that Biggs was released from prison on compassionate grounds in August 2009, apparently.
That's right. He was really ill, wasn't he? I think he had cancer or something. But yeah, I mean that's right. You know, all these drug cartel leaders and stuff, they gave tons of money to the poor people, and then they loved them.
If you're smart, you do, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, it's about any army should win the hearts and minds of the people they're living near. You know, that's just smart army tactics.
Oh, definitely.
I think we're done with Uncharted 4, aren't we?
Yeah, so
talking about the great train robbery.
We've got to chapter 19, which is Avery's descent, and we're heading into the heart of it. The only other note I put is like there was a letter from Avery or something, and I'm like, why didn't Rafe take that? Why is that still just sat there? I don't know.
Yeah,
makes no sense.
Because he can't read.
He just don't give a shit. He's just like
he just wants the stuff. Letter. He isn't there for the authenticity of it, Stu. You know.
Yeah, I don't care.
No.
You know, Tom Bissell wrote on this.
Did he?
Did
he? Yeah, according to Wikipedia, Josh Scher co-wrote the story of Uncharted 4 alongside Neil Druckmann, whom I also know.
Oh, it's your best mate.
While Tom Bissell and Ryan James provided additional writing.
So it's all your mates then that wrote this.
Oh yeah.
And I've got this book and got it home, and on the back there's a quote from Tom Bissell, like, "Oh my god."
Oh my god. So, yeah. Look, here's the thing, Chinny. Though we've got 4 chapters left.
Are we gonna just power through them?
Are we gonna just see if we can get this done for next week?
I think so. I think
we should try.
We just got to power through it.
Done.
Yeah.
I reckon.
I don't want to hear any excuses next week.
I reckon the last few chapters might not be quite as long.
Maybe you never know. With Uncharted, sometimes like the chapters are like 10 minutes. Sometimes they're like 2 hours. You
not
just
in this
don't know.
bloody game. Every chapter's been 2 hours. I reckon up to now.
So yeah, they're pretty chunky chapters. Yep.
Okie dokie. Right. Yeah. In that case, I think it's time for Play My Game, bitch, isn't it? I think. I'm alright, bitch. Yeah, bitch! Yeah, bitch! Play my game, play my game, bitch.
Yeah, it's got the Breaking Bad connection.
Yeah, bitch! So, right, I'm going to be very precious about this because I've been waiting for this game to come out this year. So I know you're probably going to hate it, but I guess we need to get to it.
Can we explain what it is? It's called Still Wakes the Deep.
It's called Still Wakes the Deep.
You're trapped on an oil rig. It's set in Scotland, the North Sea.
Where it's set.
Go on.
Who made it, Chinny?
I didn't tell you this. I kept it fairly quiet. I must admit.
Who made it?
As soon as the logo comes up, I'm like, what? It's Chinese Room.
Who made Dear Esther?
Makers of
God.
And Dear Esther.
In Dear Esther.
So here's the thing. Before we move on, sorry, I hate to do this, but
you can do what you want.
Do y'all know why the company is called the Chinese Room?
No, I've no idea actually. Considering I
See,
love
here's
them.
the thing. This is actually a really interesting philosophical concept. Here's the question. I'll put it to you in the form of a question because it's meant to be a thought experiment. Okay.
Okay.
Stu's sitting in a room. Okay.
Okay.
He's got a little book. The book has instructions, right? The instructions say if somebody gives you a piece of paper that says this, you should write this, right? And it's just hundreds and hundreds of pages, and it says if someone gives you this, you write this. And he has a slot on one side of the room and a slot on the other side of the room. Someone puts in a piece of paper with some Chinese writing on it in one slot. He gets it, he looks it up in the book, and he finds the instruction, write this thing, and then he puts it out the other slot, right?
Yep.
So the person writes, "Hi, what's your name?" And Stu looks, he doesn't have any idea that's what it says in Mandarin Chinese, right? But he has the book that tells him, write this. And what it says to write is, "My name is Stuart. It's nice to meet you." And he hands it out the other slot, right? So the question is Stuart actually writing Chinese? Does he know Chinese?
No.
No.
Because
Well,
that's basically a metaphor for AI.
He does know Chinese in that room.
Okay.
Yeah,
But if you
only
take him
'cause
out the room, he doesn't know Chinese.
Well, only because you're getting instructions on what to write, so you don't understand it.
So
do
you
you just,
temporarily know Chinese.
well, you know what to reply, but you don't necessarily know Chinese.
In that
do you?
situation, you know Chinese.
I don't know whether you do because you still don't know what you put in. Because you're presumably writing in Mandarin as a reply.
No.
No,
You're giving the impression that you know Chinese. From all outward
Yeah,
appearances,
to the,
you know
to the
Chinese.
person outside, they think you know
Oh.
Chinese, but you
But
don't.
you know
actually,
you don't know Chinese.
You know you don't
actually know Chinese.
because you're just writing
So it leads
what
to
he
the
tells
question
you.
of, right, exactly. So, you know, if you have a chat bot and you say like, you know, hey, how about Game of Thrones? And it says, my favorite character is Tyrion Lannister or whatever. Like, that chatbot hasn't watched Game of Thrones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the minute you ask it why, it won't really have a proper answer. You'll be able to tell that it doesn't really know why it likes it.
For now, you will.
Yeah.
But soon it's going to get more and more sophisticated. And then the question is, you know, what is knowledge, right? Like, what if I make it seem like I know about cars, but I don't actually know about cars? I mean, this is why Wikipedia is so nice, right? I can make it look like I know about the Great Train Robbery or whatever, but I don't actually know anything about it.
Well, that's
except
like
what I'm
me.
learning
It's,
in that moment.
I mean, you could use another one where it's like me at work, where people go, they assume that I know everything what I'm doing at work, but I don't know anything.
Right. Yeah. So that's why the company is called the Chinese Room.
I see.
That's kind of it. That's kind of cool, actually. I do like.
So
that.
these made
I do like
Dear
that.
Esther. So this is
Yeah.
you're in the North
That's the one
Sea.
good thing about this company is that they have a cool name, and then the
Yeah.
bad things are all the games.
The game is Scottish as fuck. By the
Yeah,
way,
it is.
Scottish as
the
fuck.
characters
Do you
are
know?
Scottish as
Can I just say the first thing I wrote down when I started playing this game was authentic.
You want to know?
That is the first thing I wrote.
You want to know my first note? Seriously, this is my first note on the game.
Go ahead, Chinny. What was your first note?
Scottish.
Scottish.
Yeah, that's my first note.
It's even just the language. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
exactly how people from Glasgow
That's
speak.
I used to work in. You remember Telewest? Remember that the internet
yeah.
provider? And we used to have to talk to like Scottish engineers and stuff. And one funny story that came from it was one guy. Look at a common Scottish phrase is "nae bother," like "nae bother,"
Nae bother.
like no problem. It means right.
Yeah.
And he didn't know this, and he said, "Oh, I'm just going to look this up for you." And he goes, "Nae bother," and he thought he was saying, "Don't bother." Like don't bother doing that.
Right.
And he's like, "No, I have to." And he goes, "I nae bother." And they say nae bother in this
Listen,
this
I'm
game.
gonna do it, motherfucker. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, nae bother.
Yeah, nae
Nae
bother.
bother.
So I was actually looking at some stuff up about this game. According to Wikipedia, the team used the opportunity to include voices not commonly represented in games set in the UK. Voice actors from Isle of Skye, Dundee, Aberdeen, and Glasgow were recruited. So.
Can I just say the voice acting is superb?
It is
by
pretty
the way.
good.
It is.
Absolutely.
It is pretty
and
good.
the dialogue is just so spot on.
Yeah,
I mean, the swearing, that's exactly what they do.
that's
They
exactly
swear
what
like,
people on Oryx would swear like. I say.
Yeah, swear like
That's
troopers.
exactly how they sound in North Kilt Town.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
that's it.
Yeah, it is.
What I liked as well was like the nicknames that everybody has. It's
Yeah.
like, what about fucking Gibbo or Ropa or Brody? And I'm like, that's exactly what people's nicknames are like in the UK.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
totally is.
Fucking
I loved as
Gibbo.
well when you like the attention to detail when you go in the canteen. There's the Christmas menus on the board.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's just so, and that's exactly what you. And it's something like haggis, sneeps, and tatties, and I'm like, that's exactly.
the cook-
Americans will be like, what the fuck are haggis, sneeps, and tatties? What
The-
is that even?
I believe you mean what the fook are. Haggis.
The cook is from. He's not Scottish, is he? The cook. He's like northern.
No.
He's like
No,
he's like
no, he
Leeds, I
sounds
think.
More, I thought he sounded more Londoner. Like,
No,
"Hey,
he
what
ain't
are you doing?"
fucking
Oh yeah,
London.
he is probably about York.
I think he's
yeah.
Leeds, isn't he? Something like that.
Yorkshire.
Yeah. But I think most of these accents are Glaswegian. I think.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy who.
So my
who's-
first.
Go on, sorry. No,
No,
go
my
carry
first
on.
note says Chinese room, amnesia people. Because here's the thing, I didn't like Dear Esther, but I didn't hate amnesia. I recognize what amnesia did well, which is this intense sense of suspense. It's not for me. So I came into this thinking like,
Can I just say they only did the third entry in the Amnesia series, the Chinese.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
they didn't
Fair
do
enough.
the original one.
Okay.
They took it over. I think it was either. I'm sure it was the third one, not the second one. It could have been second. It was either second or third.
Fair enough.
My other note was it's on the stream now. Naked man in shower. Quite like that.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I saw the naked man in the shower and I noped out of there. I'm like, I don't need to bother.
I went up to him.
I'll go
I
the
went
other
up to him. I was like, can I interact with this guy?
What happened when you went up to him?
Nothing.
happened. I tried to interact as well.
He just ignores you, which is
Yeah, he
probably
just-
for
he
the
just
I was
best.
carries
like,
on
I wanted
showering.
like a slap on the arse button.
Yeah,
You know,
just
it's like,
a towel.
How you
whip,
doing, buddy?
That's what be happening. Towel whip on the ass.
Yeah.
Can we just say this is another Unreal Engine 5 game,
Oh yeah.
and it does look pretty impressive.
It does look good.
It looks
Graphics
great.
are good.
Yeah, I mean, again,
Did y'all use hints in story mode? Because that when you start the game, it asks you, do you
No,
want
did it?
subtitles? Thank God, do you want subtitles? You should always ask me if I want subtitles.
Can I
Because the answer
just-
is no. I find them very
had-
distracting.
I had a massive issue with that because
How
every
so?
time I turned the subtitles off, when the next chapter or the next room or loading screen happened, they came back on again.
Thank you. That's exactly what happened to me.
I
And
was
I was
like,
like, oh, what am I doing wrong,
For
motherfucker?
fuck's sake! And like every
Right,
time,
and
I
here's
turn
the
them off
thing.
again.
Right. I have students who really value subtitles. I think that we're getting to this split in humanity that I've noticed. The friend I had who was staying with me, I was talking about how I find, because I was showing her a video from YouTube, and it had subtitles like on the thing. It wasn't like the YouTube subtitles. The person who made the video put subtitles on it,
Put
right?
them on, yeah.
And I said, oh, I wish I could turn those subtitles off. It's so annoying. She goes, I find subtitles absolutely essential. And I'm just like,
No, I
it
hate
drives
it.
me nuts. So I wish, I mean, I'm in video games, it should be, yeah, you turn them off, they stay off. It drove me nuts that they kept coming on.
Yeah, it did
But
say.
I think when it comes to like movies and TV, like when I was at my brother's house, he has them on, and I'm like, they drive me nuts. I want to
Yeah.
be able to put something over that part of my eye so I don't have to see it or something.
I put them on, by the way.
There you go.
Really?
You see, everyone's
On
different.
purpose.
Yeah.
Do you know what though? In a game like this, because it's so cinematic, again, I don't want them there. I want it to be like.
But I put them on.
right over a TV show.
I put them on when I'm watching TV though.
Yeah, fair enough.
Really?
It's weird. That is
Okay.
weird.
That's the
You're
wrong
a-
way to watch TV. I'm just
You're a
kidding.
weirdo.
But like I grew up with subtitles because my mum always had subtitles.
Oh, yeah, that makes
true,
sense.
And,
true enough. Yeah,
but
yeah.
like
And
I
in a
don't
game
put them
like
on.
this, they're useful in the same way. Go ahead, Chinny.
I don't put them on when I'm watching something with Tara typically, but I've noticed that I put them on when I'm watching something on my own. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm.
And in a game like this, they're useful for the same reason they're useful when you're watching Train Spotting, because otherwise you kind of have no idea what the fuck people are talking
No,
about.
how
at
did it-
moments.
I understand everybody in this. This is fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did you get on, Duke, with all the accents? Did you understand? Okay.
It was not bad. In some moments, I was glad the subtitles were there, and of course, it's very amusing when sometimes, like at one point, he said something about, he said some slang word for head, and I think it might have just been something like noggin, and the
Yeah,
subtitle
noggin,
word
yeah.
was head.
Yeah.
And I was like, noggin isn't so. I don't know if it was that, but it was one of those things where it was a slang word, and in order to make sure that the audience, especially in the U.S., could follow what was being said, they
Yeah,
used
yeah.
a much more
Yeah.
common word. And I was like, that kind of robs us of that experience, especially if you can't hear what's being said. But I also understand why they might do it.
Can I just say as well? Did you notice, Chinny, the big mistake? There was a massive mistake in the rec room. So it was in the rec room where this mistake
No.
happened. They had spots and stripes on the pool table. I'm like, no.
Oh no, no, no,
Instant
no,
quit.
no, no.
Fuck this game,
No.
I'm done.
Reds
No,
and yellows.
no,
I mean, this is set in the 70s.
Yeah,
Reds
yeah.
and
I mean, you
yellows.
don't. To be fair, you don't. In the 70s, you probably wouldn't even get a pool table. In
No,
the 70s,
I did think that as well. I must
you
admit, I did
you would
think that.
probably get a snooker table, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It also feels like an oil rig is a little unstable for a pool table.
that's true. But they. But,
No, they're pretty much anchored in the ocean.
I
so
think
they
they
don't
anchored
move.
I mean,
yeah.
I know, but there's wind.
But yeah, but now and again you do get spots and stripes with pool. Now and again, but it should be red
do.
and yellow. It should be red.
It
and
should be
yellow.
red and yellow if it's UK. And they're a UK-based company, so it's unforgivable.
It
really.
is-
If they
it
were
is-
Americans, I'd be like,
Yeah.
we
I'll
get to
let
the
you
real
off.
heart of these games,
Yeah,
man. Let's
yeah.
talk about the pool table.
I'm kicking off. Shall we talk about what actually happens in this?
Yeah,
game?
what actually happens because all we're talking about is aesthetic.
It's like,
details
what
of
is this game? They're just talking Scottish all the time, playing pool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, that is the first 20 minutes, to be fair.
It is a great. Can I just say, it's a great setup. I love that little bit at the beginning where you're not
Yeah.
really doing much. You're just exploring.
It's my favourite bit, by the way. That's
Yeah, talking to
when,
people.
when
It's
the
great.
when the game started, I was like, oh god, no.
Here we go.
Yeah. So the gist of it is, you drill down and something you drill into something bad, and you're not quite sure what it is, but it's obviously something that's taking over people, possession of people, turning them into sort of maniac.
It's
zombies
very
sort
the
of stuff.
thing, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's very the thing.
And then everything
Did you
kicks
finish
off.
this, Stu?
Nearly, I'm very
You're
close.
close.
I'm very close to the end.
And the game essentially is you're going into areas where you have to hide, run away. I didn't get any further than that. I got to the bit where you meet the chef again, and then you go to the lifeboat.
Yeah.
But the lifeboat drops, and then your gaffer rings you up and
I
says,
love his reaction when that happens. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
or
for
something like
fuck's
that,
sake. So I haven't got mega far, but I've got far enough to think, I don't know if this game's my thing. It's very, very good. I will say it's probably the highest rated game. Like, I've given it 4 out of 5 stars on my system,
Wow.
but it's the highest
4 out
rated
of
game.
5 stars, and you're not even.
I know
finishing
it's
it?
the highest rated game I'll probably never play. Yeah,
It's 5 hours. I mean, it's
I know, but
literally
I just
5 hours.
I'm such a pussy these days when it
I
comes.
know, you
I'm
don't
so
like scary
I'm
games,
so
do you?
scared of everything, and I'm
I
just.
don't think
I
this
have
is
that sound clip, man. See, it may not seem too scary to you, Stu, but I found the sound clip that I used when I played Amnesia. It's from the movie Quiz Show. It's 10 seconds. Here we go.
Turn it off. Turn the damn thing off.
Yeah.
God, what got into you?
It's just too nerve-wracking.
The whole time I'm playing it, I'm just like,
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that bad compared to other stuff I've played.
No,
if I'm being
no,
honest.
but I
didn't
suppose
think
when
it
I
was too
went into
scary.
the first area, where I was like, "Oh, this is what this game is. It's just fucking running around being shit scared of everything." I'm like, I don't know if I can play
And it
this.
isn't. It isn't really. It isn't. I feel like it's more actiony horror than actual out and out horror, personally.
I think
You know,
for
from
me,
what I've
the
played.
thing that about the thing, it was very effective at what it did, and what it did was mess with your expectations and set obstacles in your path every 5 seconds, and that sense of frustration combined with this supernatural stuff going on, and there's all these horror sounds coming near you and all this stuff. Chinny's in incognito mode. I want to know why. And you know, there's all these things going on, and it's just like, I just felt like, okay, in a way, I felt like I could sense myself being manipulated. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, there's someone dying over there, but I can't see what's going on. And in a way, it's effective, again, in the same way that Blair Witch was, because the mind fills in the blanks. And it's more terrifying to imagine stuff than it is to actually see it. So it's very effective in that sense.
I think as well, what it did a really good job of, there's a part, and I don't know whether either of you have got this far, but there's a bit where the phone rings. So one of the phones rings when you're
Yeah.
like walking past it. And there's some dude, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna get out." And he's like being killed or whatever, and you're like, "Shit, it's not good for him down there in the lower decks."
I've got to the bit where you're on the phone to the gaffer, like the gaffer rings.
Oh yeah, how funny was
the
the
gaffers,
conversation
yeah,
with
yeah.
the gaffer? I'm
Yeah.
like that.
There was a great line actually in the
You're
in the
fucking fired.
the last bit that I played. The gaffer rings you on the phone, and he's sort of talking like, "Just get on the fucking thing to the helicopter and
Get to the fucking
and your
chopper."
character, because you've just had an argument with the gaffer, your character says, "Oh, so we're okay then? We're okay. We're not mad at each other." And he says, when you fuck off, when you come back here, fuck the fuck off again and stuff like that. I was like, oh, what a great line that was.
It's,
Really
the
good.
dialogue I think is brilliant, and
Yeah.
just the interactions like that with the conversation when you go up to see him is just one of the best things I've ever seen in a video game because it's so real.
It's brutal.
It reminds me of like back in the 70s and 80s, there was a show called The Boys from the Black Stuff.
Oh yeah.
And like each week it was a different story about somebody who was like a working class builder or whatever. So they were all either unemployed or they'd been in prison, and it just reminded me of that. It's just like it was so authentic, and I guess again it comes back to this authentic. And that's exactly how I felt. I felt like I was watching this old 70s UK drama, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh,
That's good. It's good.
Yeah.
I will say that it's in certain moments, the urgency and the tension of the moment is T-boned by the game mechanics. In other words, at one point, we just passed it actually on the stream, there's a diving bell that's pulled up and there's someone in it and he's like, oh my God, help. And you're like, so there's another guy trying to get the diving bell up and he's like, hey Kaz, help me out with this. And you go running, because in those moments I'm like, yes, oh God, time is, I know the time doesn't actually matter here, although I'm waiting for a game when it does matter, you know what I mean? Like you could save the guy or not based on how fast you go, but so far very, very few games do that. Anyway, so I'm running to the thing and he's like, push that button and come up here and release the brake or whatever, and I'm like, okay, and I do that, and then I'm running up the stairs, and you can't go up the stairs very fast, but I'm trying to do it as fast as I can, and I hit the brake, and he's like, oh, thank God, I can finally get a hold of the cable. Go down the stairs and around through the water room. You need to alert the cook to blah, 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 blah. How are you doing? And he's like, I'm all right. How are you? I'm going to be okay. And the whole time we're having this conversation, I'm thinking, what about the guy in the fucking diving bell?
Yeah. Poor dude still. What's kind of interesting with that's kind of a callback to an earlier scene, because you can speak to him before he goes down, and he's like his first dive. And he's like, oh, I'm a bit nervous about my first dive. And he's like, no, you'll be okay. And all this
Nothing will go wrong.
Nothing will go wrong. And then the dude
nothing can possibly go wrong.
Diving bell, after he's been
possibly
down there.
Go wrong. And again, I think that the effect of hearing him screaming is more effective than anything you could see. But the fact that you need to have this conversation with the other dude is like, it takes you out of that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I liked it, but I'm not sure I'm gonna carry on playing it, Stu.
Oh, finish it! Come on, let's see if you can do it.
But does it get better? Does it?
No, it's still pretty impressive. There's a lot. I mean,
Stu loved it from the first moment. So.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping I was going to love it, because it doesn't always happen. Because quite often you're anticipating a game, and then when it finally comes, you're like, oh, it's not as good as I thought it was going to be. But so far, I've been suitably impressed. I know a lot of people are complaining again about the length of it, because it's only 5-6 hours.
Okay.
And a lot of people are saying it's a more interactive walking simulator. You know what I mean? And
okay.
Whatnot. But
there aren't a lot of puzzles from what I can tell, but that's okay. It doesn't need to have it. It's kind of it's kind of a cinematic story.
Action game. It's like an action game.
Yeah, it is an action game, but it's not an action game where you have to shoot things or. You're not solving puzzles or anything. It's mostly like and this is one thing I wrote down. Like the physicality of this game reminded me a lot. I mean, and true about Amnesia. I don't know about the one they did, but in any case, they're clearly drawing like with the doors, right? You push a button to open the door, and then you push it to behind you to close it. And it's not quite as bad as Amnesia when you had the first one. You had to click and drag the door, and in those moments of panic when there's a monster chasing you, you don't want to have to do that. So it heightens again that tension, but. It reminded me of Far Cry, like Far Cry. Yeah. One of the things I love about the Far Cry games, and in fact, I just installed Far Cry 6. Hopefully I'll have something to say about that next week, is that when you get in a car in Far Cry, it's not just GTA, push a button and you're in. It's like, it's first person and you're like grabbing the door and pulling it open. And this game has that same kind of physicality. It's interesting that the purpose of it is so different, because in this game, it's, I think, to slow you down and give you that sense of like terror. Which is fine, but not for me.
Can we agree, though, Duke? It's a long way from Dear Esther, isn't it? Come on, you can.
It is definitely a long way. Yes, there's a story here. I cared about the characters. I wanted to know what happened with Kaz and his wife and kids and all this other stuff that they drip to you at the beginning of the film or the game. Again, it's not for me. I didn't really enjoy it, but I was intrigued, and I think that it does everything that it does very well. So,
and also we never mentioned. we never mentioned this, but Kaz has got a really good backstory, hasn't he? Because he's obviously done something
I don't know
dodgy.
about really good.
Well, it's a pretty, again, a lot of people, when they used to go and work on oil rigs, was to get away from stuff. That's kind of why they did it, because they're in the middle of the North Sea and nobody can really get at them. And he'd obviously done something, and he was in trouble with the law, and he was there because obviously he was staying away from getting caught by the police almost.
Yeah.
So there was more to it than just him getting fired, because when he got fired, he was going to have to face whatever he'd done.
Sure. He was a fairly interesting character. I read Kate Beaton is a comics artist who wrote a really good book called Ducks about working in the Canadian oil sands area, and it's a really good look at the isolation and the sort of the desolation of that kind of life. And this reminded me a lot of that in many ways.
Yeah,
so.
And he also beat the shit out of someone on the oil rig, so we know he's violent, because that's why he was getting him fired, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Any more to say about
Here's
Still
the
Wakes the
other
Dead?
thing I have to say about this game. The title is interesting. Still Wakes the Deep. How important are titles to you, and what's the best title of a video game?
It's not a great title. I don't think it's a great
Why
title.
not? Why do you not like it?
Still Wakes the Deep. It doesn't quite make sense.
It's almost like a contradiction, isn't it?
Well, I think it's trying to play on the word still, because the ocean seems very still, but there's a lot of stuff underneath it. You know? That's the way I read it.
I liked it.
But I agree, it's not a wonderful title. I don't think it's a bad title.
It's
personally,
memorable. It's memorable.
I don't know if it is. I
stands
don't
out,
know.
and I was thinking about that.
I don't think it makes
it
much
certainly is better than Amnesia. It doesn't tell you anything about the world of the game. You know what I mean? Amnesia could be anything. Control is not a great title because that could be anything, right?
Yeah.
Uncharted gives you a little sense of like what's going on in this game. State of Decay is a good title because it's got several meanings, right?
Yeah.
Oblivion may be one of my favorite titles of all time because when you first start playing it, it zooms in on the 2 letters in the middle of that word, and they become the Roman numeral 4 for Elder Scrolls 4. And I just thought that was brilliant. Myst is a good title because it stands for mystery, but also, like...
So all the games you
there's
like,
mist in the
you think
air.
they're great titles?
They've got... well, yes. No, not necessarily, because Skyrim's not a great title.
No.
I wouldn't say Minecraft is a great title, although it does sort of tell you a little bit about what you're in store for.
Can
But
I
think
just
that
say-
the tough thing right now is that a lot of game developers... Hang on, let me just finish this point real quick.
Yeah.
A lot of game developers are stuck because they... there's only so many times you can name a game... First of all, like crafting in the mine or some version, craft the world, whatever the fuck it is, or Sword of Destiny or Magic Realm or role-playing games. God bless you if you have to come up with a title for a role-playing game at this point or a fantasy novel. They've all been done. Go ahead, Stu. What were you gonna say?
I was just going to say, I think one of the best game titles is obviously The Last of Us. Because he kind of describes what it is. It's The Last of Us.
It's a good
the
title.
Last
I
of Us that
agree.
are left. You know what I mean? And I kind of like that. Naughty
How about
Dog.
you
again, they're
listeners,
so
what's the
good.
best game title that you can think of?
Can I
video
just
game?
say we've got a new chatter on the YouTube channel. Found this stream enjoying and thanks for your service, right? But what I want to ask is, right, his name is Pervert Teacher, right?
I don't know if we want any praise from Pervert Teacher.
Well, the question I'm going to ask is this: like when you get a dodgy tattoo, and then you regret it later? Did he come up with that name?
You can
and
change
put
your
it in school?
username though.
I guess. Now he regrets having that name. Oh, Pervert Teacher. I
This
could never
person
have
does
done
not
that.
represent the veteran gamers or any host of
No,
the
it
veteran
doesn't.
gamers.
Pervert Teacher.
But we're glad you enjoy it, and
We're
we hope
glad
you're not
you enjoy
actually
it.
a pervert teacher. Yes.
He might not even be listening. But people just drop in down there and disappear straight away. So who
It could
knows?
be spam. You want you to click on it. I mean,
Yeah.
you could put that into any YouTube stream, and it would fit. Tell us something you actually like about this, and we'll believe you.
Yeah, we'll believe you're a real person. And that's
We want to
probably
know
not
if you're a
even
real
listening.
pervert teacher. Yeah. Right.
Well, yeah. So let's do this. Is it a thumbs up, thumbs down? What do we say?
I think it's a thumbs up. Thumbs up from me.
Yep. Duke.
Oh, he's
You want
thinking.
a third option? Is
he's
the
thinking.
other way to I
No,
don't feel right.
it's either that
thumbs
or
down.
that.
Yeah, come on,
I'm
Duke.
not giving it a thumbs up because it's for
What?
me. It's not a thumbs up.
Ah.
I didn't enjoy it. I didn't have fun.
It sounded like
But
you
I don't want
appreciated it.
thumbs
I'm
down.
so.
I appreciate what it does well, but it's not my type of game. As soon as I saw Chinese Room, I'm like, I mean, even leaving aside Dear Esther, because I knew they weren't just going to do Dear Esther again. I know that they make games that are horror and based on not being able to move very quickly. Like, if I had a sword like in Skyrim and my Fusro Da powers, I would have loved this game. But being just an ordinary schmuck with a flashlight and a hard hat, no.
Yeah, I
So,
don't
I
think
mean,
it would have
look,
worked.
I don't know what to say. Like, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't have fun with it. I felt like there was a lot of info dumping. But I also appreciate the research that went into it, and I appreciate the fact that it's about working people, and there's class conflict. And, the reason I asked if you were done, Stu, is because I'm very curious to know the nature of the horror that you've tapped into. Because for me, I don't watch a lot of horror movies. I don't read a lot of horror books because so many horror stories feel like, well, it's something evil, it's like Cthulhu again. And even Stephen King, Cell's a good book, but it's not a great book because when you find out what's going on in Cell, it's like, really? That's what's happening? Okay.
Yeah, Stephen King does that a lot, though, let's be honest. Under the
He
Dome.
does sometimes, yeah.
Under the Dome is probably the worst ending to it. A great setup. Absolutely loved Under the Dome, but the fucking ending, it's like, really? That's what it is?
Yeah, so in terms of the story or like the actual what's going on, I would reserve judgment until I knew what's going on, and I couldn't find out online doing.
Yeah,
all the reading I did,
you know what though? I don't know whether it'll be. I feel like it's going to be fairly ambiguous at the end, if I'm being totally honest. I'll be amazed if he gives an explanation for what's going on.
Right. And again, it's not as though it has to, you know what I mean? That's a personal preference of mine to get a Matrix style sit down with the bad guy and go, here's what's going on. And like, okay, I know I can't expect that in every game. So it is a thumbs down for me, but it's a very reluctant thumbs down, and it's a very personalized individual thumbs down. Not that the game is bad, but if you're like me and you don't like being tense and frustrated by a game, stay away from this game.
Yeah. Well, as you probably guessing, it's a massive thumbs up from me.
Yeah. I'm sorry, and I'm gonna cut you off. Like, I guess I probably should have put it on story mode. You know what I mean? Like, it asked me, "Do you want to do story mode?" And maybe that would have. And I didn't die. I didn't have any. I mean, maybe I fell into the ocean at one point, because I just didn't realize how I needed to jump or whatever it was. But I wonder if that may have taken away that tension and allowed me to enjoy it more. I don't know.
Do you know? Anyway, interestingly, I fell in the ocean once at the beginning, and then when it won't do this on PC, but on Xbox it tells you how close you are to getting achievements.
Oh yeah,
interesting.
And one of the achievements, I can't remember, it was called something quite cool, but it was fall in the ocean and die in 5 different spots.
Oh nice.
So I was just like, that's a pretty cool achievement. But if I didn't, that would have been a good one to get without knowing. Unfortunately, because of Xbox, it was telling me what I had to do to progress to get the achievement. And I'm like, that would have been a better one than if you just fell 5 times and it goes, ping.
Yeah, and this is a game where all the achievements are mysterious. They're secret because they don't want to,
You can reveal them now.
One of the achievements is escape, really?
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't know this, but you can reveal secret achievements on PlayStation and on Xbox.
There you go.
So you can have a look what it is.
How about that?
Yeah.
Well, you don't need to when it bloody tells you anyway.
Yeah, that you can turn that off as well, Stu. That progress.
Yeah.
So
maybe I should.
So I never get that. But I also didn't fall in the ocean. So.
Well, I said I only fell in once so far, so it's unlikely. I think that I'm going to fall in another 4 times in different places.
You never know.
Well, it is with that attitude.
Well, maybe.
All right.
You should get that achievement before you get done. Just like keep diving over the side.
We're done with this.
Yeah, huge thumbs up from me. I love it. I love it.
Lovely.
Right. Okay, we have got 1 email at the moment.
Ooh.
Only 1 this week. 6
Only
last
1.
week. 1 this
Step
week.
your bloody game up.
I know, it just shows the difference
Pervert
between
teacher.
1 week and another.
Yeah, really. Pervert teacher. No, but I just realized, thanks for your service, he said, or she, or they, and that may suggest that they think that we're actually military veterans.
Yeah.
So they weren't listening at the beginning when I said we're not military veterans. But we have put in a lot of service to the community by talking shit for
I read that as like, you know what?
Weeks.
We've done this for 16 years, so yeah, we have. That is basically the same as going into the military, isn't it?
Whoa, that ruled.
Okay, the third. I was going to say the first, but it's the one and only email this week. One and only is from Jason. And he says this: plastic decks and a few complaints. So this is what it's saying.
Okay.
So it says, "Hey, veterans,
Hey.
are men walking around with plastic in their balls?"
Yes, microplastics.
Apparently. I knew this already. What I didn't know is that apparently microplastics are also in our dicks.
Okay.
Oh, there you
Welcome
go.
to the 21st century.
So good luck with your dildos out there, man.
What?
I think he's suggesting that men's dicks are now dildos because they've got plastic.
Because
in
there's a little bit of plastic,
Plastic-
it means your dick is now a
plastic.
dildo. Okay.
apparently.
First of all, dildos are usually made of silicone rather than whatever. Go on.
Anyway, you seem to know a lot about dildos. Is all I'm saying.
I do. I'm
You
the
do?
expert of dildos. Yeah.
You seem to be. Anyway, speaking of
Me and Chad Warden.
wow,
Where is? Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah.
I ain't trying to play my games with no dildo.
there you go. Speaking of dicks, Stu, you're always going on about cleaning your dick. But if a man was to truly power wash his dick, it wouldn't turn out so well. That's true. I'm guessing if you put a high pressure jet of water on your dick, there's probably not going to be much left afterwards. It's going to be
I don't know if you're a
damaged.
real man. You can take a little power
Oh.
washing to the dick.
What are you on your way to a dick meeting?
Although it is quite safe to power wash plastic.
Well, there you go.
So if your dick's plastic, it's fine, I guess.
There you go.
Please, no more dick talk. You're all dicked out. Focus on weird and shit games, not weird and shit dicks. Chinny,
Hello.
are the listeners aware that you're a lesbian?
No, I don't think so.
I only think it's
I
fair
wasn't
they
aware
should
of that.
know. So there you go, apparently.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
And finally, Duke. I see
Yes.
members of your cult have painted Stonehenge.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
totally true. Totally true. Stop Oil have painted Stonehenge orange.
You know what? Stonehenge, overrated. Fuck them.
You see, do you know what? Actually, this is totally true, right? A lot of the time when they do this stuff, I
Yeah.
always think, why?
Yeah.
Why that? It's
Yeah.
no significance.
I can
picked
tell
up-
you why.
They
if
did
you'd
the
like.
snooker. Remember
Well,
the,
listen,
the snooker? They did the
Just a
snooker.
minute. Let me finish.
No.
But they did do one that made me laugh a lot
Uh-huh.
the other week. They did one, you know, the new portrait of the king,
Oh, yeah.
and they slapped a Wallace face on it.
Oh, yeah.
And then a speech bubble saying something about Stop Oil or whatever. And I thought that was it was
Good.
funny the way they did it. There was a video of it, and it was so quick. They just slapped it up, rolled it, job done.
Yeah.
But I don't get the Stonehenge thing. But the Taylor Swift's aeroplane, which burns a lot of fuel and stuff, totally get. Makes total sense. Look, slap it on the fucking Rolls Royce of the CEOs of the companies that do this shit.
Yes.
But leave
Yes, I
Stonehenge
agree.
alone. Stonehenge
No,
has been around
that's
for
the most
30
interesting thing that's
years,
happened at
whatever.
Stonehenge for years.
Well, I guess.
So
Apart-
first of all, I mean, I don't know if we want to get into this, but first of
No.
all, they. Okay.
Well, give us a minute of it, dude. Go on.
Okay, give us a minute.
Okay.
Quick prep.
Cut
Give us
out
a minute.
after a minute.
1 minute.
Okay, first of all, they used a paint that they would come off in the rain, so it really wasn't defacing Stonehenge in any way that sidewalk chalk defaces the sidewalk. And secondly, look, the world is crumbling around us. 1,000 people died during the Hajj this year. The world is dying, and nobody seems to be paying attention. So what do we do to get people's attention?
It's 16 quid to see Stonehenge.
Yeah, it is. It's a
Do you
lot
know
of
what I mean?
money.
It's expensive,
Yeah.
Duke, right? Like, those people have paid a lot of money to see some crap, and they made it better for them.
Yeah.
So,
Added a bit of colour.
but they ruined the snooker, Duke. So it's
Yeah, they did.
you know,
And
They-
the tennis. They did it at tennis.
yeah,
as
they
well.
did it at the snooker. That was unforgivable. You're right though. They could have done more damage at the snooker because it was basically chalk, and they just hoovered it up, and it was fine.
I loved how the one of the players wrestled them off the table. The
Yeah.
other one stopped them, didn't he? On the other table,
yeah.
stopped them doing
The
it.
referee just wrestled them off. Yeah,
I
and
can't see myself doing that sort of thing. You know,
No.
my approach to trying to stop cancel the apocalypse, as Saul Williams said, is to teach and educate and bring awareness to people. But I also feel a sense of desperation, and So
Yep.
yeah.
If I'm being honest, though, I do think they improved the King's Portrait. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think so. And
Well,
it was,
anything would
there's,
improve
there's,
that. You
there's a
smear it with
new
dog shit, it would improve that.
there's a new Wallace and Gromit film coming out this Christmas.
Really?
So it's a good promotion for that, isn't it? Yeah, there is a new one, dude.
multiple,
Yeah,
multiple purposes.
yeah.
Anyway, he says, don't let that get in the way of our podcast. And Duke, stop interrupting your co-host every other second. I will beat
working
you
on it.
with a ruler. So there you go. That's what he says. Lastly, I love the look of the Xbox Pro. Do you know what? Actually, I never mentioned this. You know, when we was talking about Game Fest and Next Fest or whatever the hell it was called, they did announce a new Xbox Series X, but with no disc drive.
Yeah, so I heard about this. Yeah.
Cheaper. And I'm like, do you know what? And it's white as well, so it looked kind of cool. I'm like, I'm tempted to trade in and get one, you know.
Wow.
Because I'm not bothered about a disc anymore.
No.
Because it's
Why wouldn't
literally.
they call it Series Z or something?
I
How
don't know.
boring are they with their...
Oh.
Speaking of titles...
Go on.
No, I was just saying, speaking
All
of
right.
titles... Like,
Yeah, well, exactly. But I'm tempted because I feel like, you know what? It's a Game Pass player to me. I don't ever buy a disc to put in it. I'm not bothered.
No.
The only advantage is, I guess, you can play old Xbox games and 360 games to put. Who does, really? Do you know what I mean? You have all this backwards compatibility stuff, but do you really ever do it?
I think some people do. Yeah, it's not the most played thing in the world, but yeah. It's nice that it's there, Stu. It's nice that it's there.
It's nice it's there.
you could probably buy buy a digital version of the game you love on the Xbox
Yeah,
store, can't you?
And it's
But if you've got it, though, and I've got a lot of my old games, it's nice to know that I can put it in there.
Yeah, it's
well,
true.
they did. Did you see this? I think it was about a week or so ago. Xbox are doing a non-backwards compatible sale.
Oh, okay.
Because they're closing the Xbox 360 store. So if you still own an Xbox 360, you can pick up all those amazing games that came out on it for like £1 each. They're just selling them at 90% off or 95% off to get just to sell them. Just to sell some copies and and do that. But they'll only they're all the ones that just won't work on the new console. So they're just the stuff that'll only work on the 360 only. But I thought it's kind of an interesting thing that I'm like, should I buy one again? I bet they're about £10. Probably pick one up for next to nothing. But I'm like, nah, it's just something to clutter up, isn't it? You know what I mean?
See, I have an Xbox 360, but the door won't open, like the little tray. So I have to get a fucking screwdriver or something. And like, I did play Rock Band on that. Like, that's the only thing I would ever play it on or play with it. But I like Rock Band every now and then. So I'm thinking maybe I should go to the Communist Game Store and get another Xbox 360. But
do you know what, Duke? If you get one, you'll get a shit ton of cheap games. You'll get like 50 games for $50.
I've already got more games than I can deal with here on the PC.
Oh, yeah.
That's the trouble. Anyway, he says, I'll decide after summer which console to get next. So, if you watched any of the upcoming games, which console would you go with as of this upcoming October? Later's gonna go have a barbecue on my dick. Jason.
I think Xbox has probably got a stronger lineup this year, but overall, I think PlayStation have probably got a better one. So
PlayStation always do, don't they? It's like I'll be honest, I've not been tempted at all to get a PlayStation 5 though. I'm just not.
I'm playing some good stuff on it though.
I know, but there's nothing. I know
Spider-Man 2
is amazing, but it's not enough. It's just not enough at the
Did
moment.
you play
There's
God of
nothing.
War Ragnarok?
I did. I wasn't. I didn't. I'd stopped playing it. I put it down.
That's the
I've still
incorrect
got
answer,
it.
I'm afraid, Stu.
I know. I've still got it though, but I just got a bit bored.
Yeah.
Got a bit bored. Do you know what I think would make me buy one? If I'm being.
If you got one for free?
No. Well, that would probably. I would definitely buy one for free.
Okay.
Does that qualify as buying one?
Not really.
If you got one for 10 quid, then.
£10, I'd buy one for 10
Yeah, you buy one for them.
But for real, like, full price monies,
Yeah.
I think a new Last of Us game would have to come out.
And that will happen.
I know it will, and I think that'll be when I pull the trigger. Because there's nothing else at the moment.
You know what?
that
You might be looking at PlayStation 6 by then. I'm not joking.
No, you're probably right. You're probably right.
So here's the question, though. Will that come out, Last of Us 3 or Elder Scrolls 6? Which one's going to come first? Or GTA 6?
I think GTA 6 I think will come first.
GTA 6 will come first for sure.
Then I think it's Elder Scrolls 6.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then I'll say
And
The
then
Last of Us 3.
Last of Us 3,
See.
yeah.
There's something with Tim Howard who was like, they were saying something about, oh, the trailer for the teaser for Elder Scrolls 6 was like 3 years ago. And he was like, man, that's a long time ago, isn't it? Motherfucker, don't lecture us about how long it's been. Fucking make the game. What are you talking about?
He's making it. He's making it. He's
You
there.
better be making it.
I
Let's
don't-
see some
What
fucking
game?
progress,
The-
man.
Tom-
You know what? Sorry, I have to interrupt in this moment. Here's the thing: they're paving our road out here. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
A week ago, they dumped 10 million pounds of dirt and rocks on our street, all up and down the street. I wanted to ride my bike this summer. Last summer I couldn't do it because Canada was sending their fucking wildfire smoke toward us. And this summer I can't ride my bike because the fucking street is all rocks and dirt. And I want to know, like, what's the schedule? Just it doesn't have to be very rigid. Just tell me, like, on this date we're gonna start actually paving. I just want to have an idea of where we're at. What were you gonna
Do
say?
you know?
I
if you
don't
lived in-
remember. I can't remember. It's
if you-
fine. It's not. It wasn't important.
If
Yes,
you
it
You
was.
just told me to not interrupt.
If you lived in the UK, you'd be fine because we have like the Highways Agency, and they have to list on their website what
have to-
roadworks
they have
are
to list
happening,
it, yeah.
when they're happening, and how
It
long
doesn't
it's
mean
gonna
it
take.
doesn't mean you can't complain though, because everybody still
Yeah,
complains.
yeah.
Next,
Well,
you're
at
gonna
least you
tell me
know.
that you have like healthcare for everybody or something.
Yeah, but that's shit. So don't
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
Shit, compared
is.
to fucking
This-
dying
right.
from a goddamn cut on your hand. I'll
This
take it.
year, right, I've had 2 appointments. One was on the 21st of January at Blackpool, right, for an update and a follow up on my do I need a fucking ICD inside me or not. That got
Yep.
cancelled on the day I was meant to be going
Uh-huh.
on the 21st of January. Do you know when that's been rescheduled for?
Next year.
Nearly. You're not far off. 19th of November, nearly 12 months
Man.
later. And they
And what's the
cancelled
copay
it.
on that visit?
What's the what?
What's the copay on that?
What the hell does that mean? How much I have to pay
How about
for
your
it?
deductible? What's your deductible?
Yeah, that's true. But you,
just saying.
yeah. But you'd be back in the next appointment. Well, it probably won't get cancelled to begin with. To be fair, and if it did, you'd have another one the following week. I've got to wait 12 months for that, and then to fucking fuckers, right? Excuse the French.
Oh, very
That's the
day.
actual department title, though. Yeah.
I've got my 12. Well, I'm meant to have my 12-month follow-up on Friday. So with my actual consultant about my heart, 12-month follow-up, which can I just say was booked last June, so it's been booked for ages. Gets a letter fucking yesterday or the day before saying, "Oh, we're sorry, we've had to cancel your appointment on Friday." No idea when that's going. Now, Duke, I love that people stand up for the rights and shit. But this is because the junior doctors are on strike. So they go on strike on Thursday, and therefore my very important heart appointment has been cancelled.
That's really fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
I agree. We should all be mad at the ruling class for not giving the doctors what they deserve and forcing them to go on strike
Not
in order to get what they
necessarily.
deserve.
Not necessarily. We should be mad at the doctors for holding patients to ransom, in my opinion. Because that's what
So
they're
you
doing.
think it's entirely the doctor? We should maybe talk about this after the show.
That's entirely their fault.
Right,
Nothing
so-
to do with the ruling.
Okay.
So we got
I'm greedy.
speak pipes.
Yeah, we have. We got
I
speak
think
pipes.
maybe we do. The question is, where are the speak pipe sound? Oh, here we go. Because I reorganized it, it's going to take me a little minute to be. I know they're in the red zone, but whatever.
Pipe, it's the way to leave a message for us.
All right, we got 3 speak pipes from Jacinta.
We have. She's been busy.
They're all from Jacinta. Okay.
They are.
All right.
Oh, we've
Yes,
got one more. No, there is
and-
one more from.
Oh yeah, I got it. Yeah,
there is
yeah,
another
Saint
one.
Diesel.
There is.
Yep. All right, cool. So here is the first one from Jacinta. Make sure it's the right one. 698. Yes, I think this is the first one. Okay, here we go.
Hi guys, and Steve, I guess. So bisexuality is like not always 50-50. Mine's like 80 chicks, 20 men, because men are like fun and fine, I guess. But have you seen women? Like, oh my god. So that's not an ideal place to start. And I've recently been burned pretty hard by a dude, so many a trust issue. Many a trust issue. My current dating strategy has been basically just sitting at home playing Elden Ring and waiting for Captain Catherine Janeway to stop being fictional and show up on my doorstep and like step on me. But she has yet to do this, and I am 36 years old nearly. And yeah, been kind of waiting since I was about 12. Pretty disappointing. So, yep. Anyway, this is not a dating show. This is
Could be.
about the video games, and I do love those. So I don't really know what to say other than it did kind of make my week or day. Don't know about week. I did ponder on it for a while though. That's something. Bye.
So we're guessing
Speaking-
from that Steve made a day, but not
Yeah.
a week.
Made her day, yeah.
Made
no,
her
I mean,
day.
sure.
You know, who doesn't want to hear like, oh, they got a nice voice or something? You know,
Yeah.
it's nice.
Yeah.
Compliments. We all like compliments, don't we? Let's be fair.
But your chances aren't looking good, Steve. That's
no, I don't
that's
think
that,
so.
that's
I think
the
that's
gist
the
of that. One.
upshot.
Yeah.
20%.
And speaking of and speaking of Elden Ring, in the intro to this book, the author talks about Elden Ring and says, "At the time of this writing, I cannot defeat Commander Niall to save my life, and I need the left half of the Halig Tree secret medallion. Please send help." Whatever the hell that means. If you play Elden Ring,
Yeah,
maybe
do you
know what
know,
that means.
can I just say as well, Adam, Millie's boyfriend, started a new build on Elden Ring because the fucking expansions come out or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's naked. He's like literally naked with a loincloth and a weapon. And
now I want to.
he beat the first boss. So he beat the first boss with no armor at all, no shield, no armor, just a two-handed weapon, right? Which is kind of
Wow.
impressive.
That
He
is
got
impressive.
to the second boss. I'm sat on the chair, right? Went off, had a shower, did some other stuff. And I was probably gone for about an hour doing stuff. Came back, maybe a bit long, maybe an hour and a quarter. Still trying to kill the second boss. He'd been at it for an hour and a quarter. Just like going through the thing, running up, getting killed, running through the thing, going up, getting killed, running like over and over again for an hour and a quarter. I'm like, how can you do that? Just be like, after the first 10 minutes, I'm like, right, I'm done. Do you know
See,
what I
this
mean?
is the thing. There was a Reddit thread recently which said, you know, we all love video games. There are some games that make an impression on us, but there's that one game that really gave you something special. What was it? And, you know, a number of the answers were about Bloodborne, Elden Ring, Dark Souls, and they all had variations of like, it taught me that I can do things that I originally thought were impossible. And I respect that. But I also think,
kind of get
yeah,
that.
at what point do you say to yourself though, like, is this fucking worth it? Like, is it something
Yeah.
important that I thought was
Exactly.
impossible? Like, and I mean, okay, it's rich for me to say that after 4,000 hours in Rocket League, so I can't give anybody stick for wasting their time on a video game, I guess. But
But that's what I said to. I was just like, how can you just keep doing that over and over? And he's like,
when he finally does it, it's gonna feel amazing, I'm sure.
well, I'm sure it is. I'm sure.
So
it's
when
not for
when I
me.
hear stuff like that, someone who is now very very time poor, it makes me very angry because I was watching
That's brilliant.
I was watching Tick and Talk, right, and this kid, because everybody tries to be the new Mr. Beast because he got famous by counting to 1,000,000 on YouTube, but so this kid was like, I'm gonna cut my grass with a pair of scissors, and I went, mate,
For fuck's sake.
I don't even have time to cut the grass with a fucking lawnmower. Right. Just it frustrates me. And it's just because I'm so time poor. Yeah.
Well, of course.
Never mind.
And he's doing it in order to get famous. He's
Oh,
trying
I know,
to get
I
internet
know.
points.
I know.
Like, if he was doing it for charity, that would be one thing. But, like, to do it for just your ego. Like,
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
get
come
that. I get that. And I don't hate that, right? But I'm just like, mate, I haven't got time to fucking... Sometimes I fucking poo is
yeah.
a treat for me. Like, that's a treat. Right, you
It
know?
always is.
So...
I mean, you want me to send you a little something, something? Jimmy?
yeah.
All right, are
Okay.
we ready for the next speak pipe?
Yeah, let's do it. The speak pad number 2
Okay,
from
I should also say,
Jacinta.
though, it's this number 2 from Jacinta. I said the person, when he finally beats that boss, it's going to feel amazing. It will for 10 seconds until he goes, okay, now what's the next
Now
boss?
what's
You
the
know what I
next
mean? Like,
thing,
that joy
Oh, yeah,
is so
that's-
short-lived.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what'll happen.
So, anyway, here's the next one from Jacinta.
I also just wanted to point out that I listened to the live version of last week's show, and I know Duke kind of got very protective and didn't want to
That's one way to put
necessarily
it.
discuss things out in the open with respect to my sexuality, and I know that I'm very open with that, but particularly working in a school and being a teacher and kind of a public figure, I can completely understand why he was like less hesitant to discuss it. No shade on Chinny, you said the right thing. I have totally said that I've sworn off men. Like, who knows if that's actually true? Because, you know, I say a lot of dumb shit and then I do a lot of dumb other shit. So,
Don't we all?
But,
yeah.
Yeah, I completely get where he was coming from regarding speaking about someone else's sexuality openly is very different to talking about yourself or your own, particularly when you work in like a school. It can be touchy. It's not in my case, so I'm probably more open about things than I probably should be, but I really do understand where he was coming from. I think he also kind of knows me better than most, like we've emailed about things, so maybe he wasn't sure what is, you know, commonly known versus what stuff he's known. I really just appreciate and understand where he was coming from. That's all I wanted to say.
So it sounds like what she's saying is she's a pervert teacher.
Yeah,
so
that's
maybe,
maybe that's who it is.
Yeah.
Maybe that's who it is, pervert teacher.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you, Jacinda. I appreciate that. I mean, you know, whatever. It is what it is. Yeah.
And then there's part 3. There's another
part
Jesus
3.
Christ.
So we're not done.
It's a trilogy. It's a trilogy.
It is a trilogy. It's an epic trilogy. And it's funny because she sent an email too, like, sorry for the rambling speak pipes. And I'm like,
yeah, she did.
Oh no, she's doing what I did on the Syncast. Like, just turn on the mic and just start talking.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, a lot of people do that on speak pipes, but I just hope that I'm not infecting other people with my ramblingness. But yeah, whatever. All right. So here comes the last Jacinta pipe.
Hey, I know this is a third speak pipe, and I should like shut the fuck up.
Nah, we love it.
You know, we have a
it's fine.
2-person per week limit. You get 2 speak pipes, and you can't say what you need to say.
Can we just say, I think she's done this on purpose because Steve is going to be loving
I know. Oh, God.
3 helpings of Jacinta's sexy voice. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Jeez.
And nothing is more appealing than what you don't have, right? On The Simpsons,
Exactly.
when Lisa's like, Maggie's not playing with this ball right now, but as soon as I move it over here, look at Maggie. Does it make sense, Bart? And he's like, give me the ball. Give me the ball.
That's exactly what's happening.
And that's the same thing. Like, I could have been playing Once Human, and I was like, yeah, I'll get to it. And then now that I can't play it, I'm like, oh, I really want to play.
True.
No
True.
other game comes close.
True.
And as soon as it comes out, I'll be like, what else is coming out
Whatever.
soon?
I love the fact that you were fanning around trying to get better artwork, and then it went, so it wasn't even there when you finally decided to do it.
But you know what? You know what though? And once again, if I go into the Steam database for the cover art and somebody has liked it, it'll be like, yes. And I'm in on the ground floor with this game. Some games, like if you make a cover for No Man's Sky, there's 100 covers for No Man's Sky. That's not going to be special. It's been out for a while, but this game isn't even out yet. So when people go looking, they're going to find my artwork.
Booyah.
Anyway, here comes the second or the third Jacinta.
In the podcast, but also I've wanted to comment for a little while now about sound design because I think it's like an underrated aspect of video games, and I think they add to replayability. So I remember once I was on Reddit and I was like looking up why is League of Legends so addictive because I was like going through a phase where I was really addicted.
Oh, yeah.
And someone posted in the comment, I don't know if they were joking, but they were literally like the sound of the last hit and the gold coins clinking. That there's this really specific sound when you get a last hit on your minion and you get the gold, and it's like the ka-ching of getting the gold. And then I was playing Elden Ring recently. Like, I've been playing it so much, and quite honestly, just playing the beginning over and over again, like a weirdo with new characters. And I'm like, why do I keep playing the same game as the same class, using the same skill, and why is it so satisfying? And honestly, I think it's because Glintstone Pebble, which is the astrologer starting magic spell, just makes this really satisfying, like, slicing sound when you kill an enemy and then they disappear and disintegrate. And it's like just this really satisfying sound that's like addicting or addictive. I actually really find it really annoying when people say addicting. This is because I've been listening to you guys too much. Anyway, yeah, what do you guys think? Why is sound design so underrated? What are like little sounds that keep bringing you back to games, if there are any? I just think it's kind of fascinating, and I'm bringing it back to video games. Bye.
Can I just say, first of all, I think addicting is becoming more and more common. I remember years ago when we used that word, or one of us used it, and we argued about it, that it wasn't a real word or it wasn't the right word. But I hear it more and more and more.
Because America. Because America.
Yeah. Yeah,
America,
I hear it
that's
a
why.
lot.
I was just thinking about games with good sound design. You know what one that comes to mind for me is Gears of War, Stu.
Yeah.
Like, it just sounds so good. Like, it just sounds so clunky. The guns sound good. The active reload, the click, the chainsaw. I love the sound in Gears of War.
What was
Brilliant.
the weapon that came from the sky? What was that called?
The Hammer of Dawn.
Hammer of Dawn sounded great.
Yeah, just yeah.
And then if you were closer, you could have just
yeah.
you know, and it was sizzling the ground.
Yeah. So good. That, and I think Portal's sound design is great because when you use a portal, the sound of the portal expects how you expect it to sound, but also is very satisfying. And even just like small little sounds of you jumping through something and swishing through a portal, there's a small sound there. And the reason, to answer a question before you two jump in, is I think sound design is just less obvious. It's not as in your face. You can't see it. It's something you hear, but it's something you notice, but maybe passively. So until you stop and think about it, you don't notice it. So that's why it's probably underrated.
I went and found the sound of that Jacinta's talking about. I think this is it from League of Legends. Let's see if this is actually the sound she's thinking about.
Oh,
I hope that's the sound. I did a search for League of Legends last hit gold sound.
I thought she said Elden Ring when
No. She was talking about Elden Ring, but she was talking about League of Legends for that. Yeah.
Ah, right, okay. I missed that. No, I generally agree. I think that, let's be honest, one of the soundbites Dukes used infinitely since we've been doing the podcast is the victory sound from Final Fantasy VII.
I just thought.
Witcher 3.
I just thought of another one. In Warzone, in Call of Duty Warzone, when you crack somebody's armor, it's called cracking their armor. There's a little crack noise, and that is very satisfying. But it also tells you a lot of information. It tells you that they're weak. It tells, there's a little visual cue as well to tell you that it's so small, but it's so satisfying.
I also think one of the best uses of sound design, and you notice this a lot in playing Uncharted, is like the music goes up in tempo when you're having a fight.
Oh yeah,
and there's an enemy left until that music slows down again.
Right, and that's a new thing in games. I mean, I guess if they did an Uncharted 4, it'll continue with the music, like dynamic music that ends or changes when you're done with the combat. And that's true in Skyrim. And I was thinking about the Final Fantasy music. Yes, it's a beautiful bit of music. But honestly, I don't know if I had never played that game, if I would also think it's a beautiful piece of music. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much nostalgia and the game experience that goes along with it. It's hard to judge it independent of that context.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
I've got
to say, Still Wakes the Deep, I think are great sound.
Yeah, I think it did, yeah.
The enemies, the sea,
I agree.
it all added to the atmosphere of the place.
I was super impressed with Super Mario 64 because that was sort of the first game that I noticed, if I walk in this room, my footsteps are echoey. And if I walk in this room, and when Mario walks on carpet, it's different. And I noticed that when I was 12, right? And it's so subtle, but it's just so, I don't know what that adds to the overall game, but you know what? It shows you the attention to detail that they've made on that. Yeah. So what else have they done?
And it's the same in Minecraft. You sound different running over dirt compared to sand, compared to gravel. You know what I mean? Like there's all these. And I think the thing about sounds is that you'll notice them if they're bad, but you don't notice them if they're good.
That's true.
And Lao Tzu said that the best leader is the one that when he does something, the people all go, we did it ourselves. Yeah. And I think the same is true about good sound design.
Yeah. I think the other thing, not just sound design, but something I've noticed more and more recently, and they're stupid things, but you look for them now. I find I'm looking for stuff. Is like wet footprints, for instance, or the tire tracks in Uncharted.
Or snow prints.
Snow prints. You're looking for those almost what makes it realistic. What makes the game look real. And the sound and the aesthetics.
But you don't necessarily listen for the sound as so much. No. You just assume it's going to be there, don't you? You just and you the snow crunching. Somebody's had to record that. Somebody's had to record that and process that and what kind of steps you take. But you don't notice that. You don't appreciate that.
I remember years ago watching a documentary on the sound design for movies and TV and stuff.
Yeah.
And this is a long time ago. and the stuff they used
Oh, it's incredible.
to recreate sounds was nothing like the sound they were
No,
recreating. It was
Foley,
amazing.
a Foley artist is
Yeah,
a
Foley
true
artist,
artist. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
so,
it was
they're so
unbelievable.
clever.
Using celery to simulate a broken bone or something.
Yeah,
It was like, oh, this
Well-
is what I use. If I had to do a gunshot, this is what I do.
The-
And it was so interesting.
The one that was impressed with, The Exorcist, when her neck turns all the way around.
Yeah.
That's actually the sound designer's level wallet, and he's just sort of crunching it.
That's just crazy,
Yeah.
isn't it? That they just come up
That's
with something
incredible.
like, oh, wait a minute, that'll do it.
That'll do it. Yeah.
They did that with Mist. And speaking of documentaries about sound design, we just watched the documentary about Reading Rainbow. I don't know if y'all ever watched that over there, but it was a TV show about reading, and it was hosted by LeVar Burton, who got famous because of Roots, and he went on to do Star Trek: The Next Generation. He's an amazing actor. He should be the host of Jeopardy right now, but whatever. Anyway, the documentary featured an interview with the guy who made the theme song, and it starts out with this really kind of, actually, I can pull up the sound of the Reading Rainbow theme song, because it starts out with a very distinctive sound.
Donald Trump.
Oh God! Of course, there has to be an ad before the freaking video
Donald
because
Trump.
YouTube
Donald
must
Trump.
put and of
What are
course,
the
what's the algorithm
chances?
saying? This guy cares about politics.
Yeah, you
so
must have been
all
looking
the
at
ads
Donald
I'm getting
Trump.
now are
That's
politics.
what you've been doing.
Well, I'm looking at stuff anyway. All
love
right, so
that.
now I have the Reading Rainbow theme here. Let me play the beginning of it. And so that's the beginning of it. It's so distinctive and recognizable. Everybody knows that sound in the US. And so to hear this guy, he had a this is 1981 or something. He had this, oscilloscope basically with a few delays and flanges and stuff on it, and he was adjusting the waveform and chopping it and then adding echo and stuff until he got there. And when he finally got there, I was like, dude, I can hear it coming into shape. And it's just so cool to see someone at work who really knows what they're doing when it comes to making sounds, rather than just using them to annoy the shit out of people.
Cool.
Can I just say, actually, I think one of the best TV themes ever created is Doctor Who.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Absolutely.
it was made by a woman called Delia Derbyshire.
A woman.
It was made by a
A
woman.
It was made
woman?
by the KLF.
And she was kind of groundbreaking at the time. And she used a similar sort of thing. She used all these weird, like, contraptions and noisemakers and things to create it. And it was just amazing. And there was I watched a documentary on her, and she was so interesting, but she was so weird.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I think
she-
you have to be.
Yeah, she was just like, oh, this is called such and such a thing, and I just twizzle these knobs a bit, and this is a sound that comes out. You know what I mean? And it was just so creative at the time, and just amazing. But yeah, that's what I think for me, and it stood the test of time because that was first created in about
Of course.
1960.
It's
You know
very
what I mean?
iconic.
Yeah. But
Now I'm thinking about all the different. I mean, if we talk about iconic theme songs, like The Simpsons, may be. I mean, Doctor Who's a great theme, and I have a personal connection to The Simpsons, obviously. But The Simpsons theme is just amazing.
Yeah.
But
it
we
is.
were talking about titles before, and I wonder if Doctor Who is a good title.
Yeah, well, it is Doctor Who.
Well, I suppose the proof's in the pudding, isn't it? That it's
Yeah, it is.
successful, I suppose.
Yeah,
It's a good
Doctor Who.
show.
Yeah, but it's
Does that mean it's
successful,
a
so
good
that means the
title?
title has never held it
Successful
back.
at what?
But
Well, no, I'm not saying the title holds it back. I'm just saying if we look at the title by itself, The Simpsons is a fine title because it's the people in the show, but I wouldn't call it a great title. It's better than Family Guy.
Can I just say, it was the first knock knock joke I learned as a kid.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, knock knock.
Yeah. Who's there?
Who's there? Doctor.
Doctor Who.
Exactly. So there you go.
Exterminate.
It's
Oh, the
a-
punchline is exterminate.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, because that's how you know who the Doctor Who fans in the room are. When no one laughs, you go, none of y'all watch Doctor Who?
Yes.
That's the way I tell it, but whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, we got another speak pipe here. It's from Saint Diesel. Let's not get physical. That song just keeps coming back up, man. I feel like someone references it every month or so.
Well,
I'm
you
not going to
can't.
play the Revco version.
You can't get physical, can you, dude? Because it fucking dug your road up.
Well, I'm doing sit-ups and lifting weights, and I
Wow.
can go for walks. So there's that.
And they're going to knock him out.
I should say I got numbers from my doctor recently, and my cholesterol's down and my blood pressure's down. So
Oh,
what?
done. Well done. So
Yeah.
what was your blood pressure then? What was it at?
I don't know. Less than it was last time.
Oh, that's
so
good.
I went and looked at the chart on the computer, and like it had gone up, and now it's back down. So I just got lazy, I think. So
You just need to
hey,
do some
people,
burpees.
look,
Do some burpees.
you gotta just take care of yourself, eat well, exercise. Like, it's good to be healthy. Okay, final speak pipe. Here we go. Saint Diesel.
Hey, Veteran Gamers, it's Saint Diesel back again. Over the last month or so, we've had showcases from Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
And one of the things I was thinking about was lots of these games that they showed weren't necessarily guaranteed a physical release. They were online only.
Okay.
I won't go into all of the details on that, but it got me thinking Nintendo is probably going to release the follow-up to the Switch next year, 2025.
Yeah.
And we've heard reports that Xbox is possibly going to put out their next system in 2026.
Mm.
And it's possible again that Sony could release their next system in 2027, maybe 2028. So if you were to guess and say that one of those three systems was going to be digital only, in other words, there's been no cartridges or discs that you could use, and you had to download everything or use the cloud, which one would it be? And of course the answer is Microsoft, I'm sure you'd agree. But do you think there's any possibility that Nintendo, Microsoft or Sony release a digital only console as their next system, whether it's 2025, 26, 27, 28, whatever? 50-50 on that one, but I'd like to know your thoughts, and I'll just leave it there for this one.
Okay. I'm gonna say it could be all three.
I don't think Nintendo will do it.
Do you not think so?
No, I don't think so. No, maybe they'll do a SKU. They'll do one where it's got the cartridges, and then later release a digital. But I think PlayStation and Microsoft will. But I don't think Nintendo will.
I think they will.
Yeah.
I also think that
We're at the point.
Yeah, we've got to a point with internet's broadband speeds that it's fast enough, isn't it?
I think so. And I
most
think
people.
I don't know. When I was listening to other podcasts talk about this, I can't remember the last time. I don't think I've ever put a disc in my Xbox. I don't think I put a game disc into it. I put a DVD into it, but I've never put
I was
a
trying to
game
remember
disc.
the last digital or the last actual game disc. Or
Just
cartridge
doesn't
I
happen
bought. I
anymore.
can't think
Just
of it.
doesn't happen.
Uncharted 4 for me, but that's only because of the
You bought it
because
ages ago.
Yeah,
and-
I bought it recently. Bought it
yeah,
second-hand
but
for a
that.
fiver.
Oh right, yeah, 'cause you're cheap, right? Yeah, but
So a new game then. When was the last time you bought a new
but
game?
but if
no,
you
a
didn't
new
have that
game,
option, Stu, would you be gutted? Would you be?
No, not at this point. I think in the past I might have been,
Yeah,
but at this point in time,
because
I
old
just-
games are
Again,
usually
it's that thing of like it's kind of nice to have the a possibility of it. but,
yeah.
Old
games
again,
are usually
we d-
cheap
I
enough.
mean, yeah, but we talked about this the other week, didn't we? The fact that you'll never own that game. It's just
Yeah,
you
well.
just own the license to play
Right,
it.
there's that. But I think that the other thing is that like I can't play Quantum of Solace.
Oh,
Yeah,
Like
that's
that's
true.
not available digitally. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that
Good.
really. I mean, what? Hey, but that's the thing that I think so two things about Derek's thing, like Saint Diesel. Sorry, it's the fact that same thing as Spotify decides to just not have George Carlin's comedy, and I know they didn't
Yeah.
decide to, but you know what I mean? Like it just vanished one day.
Yeah.
Suddenly, and I had gotten rid of all my George Carlin CDs. Like I wish I would have kept them. There's some things I can't hear, the Jerky Boys, like, come
Yeah.
on. So that's frustrating to not have that kind of control over your, and I'm not too fussed personally about owning it or not, but to suddenly lose access to it
Yeah.
just because some company got in a fight
Yeah,
with some
yeah,
other
yeah.
company, like that's messed up.
I
right?
agree.
And then the other thing is like, I want to know when the OnLive experiment will actually happen for real. You know what I mean? Where this downloading of 300 gigs for the next Call of Duty, like we're getting to a point where that really should be unnecessary, don't you?
No, I think we're going to be downloading for another 10 years. I really do.
Yeah, I think I
Really?
mean
Yeah.
Xbox Cloud. I've played a lot and finished a lot on Xbox Cloud gaming.
It's rough, man.
But it works.
It's
I've got a wired connection.
So have I.
It works fairly well for me. I don't know,
It's
but I have
rough.
had
Yeah,
instances.
but you're in Wolverhampton, shit.
That's true.
I've had instances where it has crashed mid-game,
Yeah.
and I've lost a load of progress as a result of
Uh-huh.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's so frustrating.
that's been very frustrating. So it isn't perfect, but I have managed to play and finish quite a few games via cloud
My
gaming.
point about that though, Stu, is that okay? Yeah, in your house it works okay,
Yeah,
but the
yeah.
whole point of it is that it can be anywhere, right?
Yeah,
and
true.
when I play it at work, because I tried to play my
awful,
game,
honestly.
it was fucking awful.
Awful.
So, and if you play it in a hotel with hotel Wi-Fi, it's fucking awful. So it isn't there. It just isn't there.
No, it isn't. No, I do agree. I mean, the only one that I've heard works pretty well is the NVIDIA one, the one where you basically hire a
You know why?
PC rig in the
Because
cloud.
no one's fucking on it. That's why.
Yeah. But you still have to
that'll
queue.
clear up the bandwidth.
If you have it, you have to queue to get a place on it. You know
There's only
what I mean?
3
'Cause it's
people on
only-
it.
Yeah, it's only so many servers.
It's
or
a very
whatever.
short queue.
Yeah.
But
I
I agree.
Yeah.
It's still a long way off. I
Still
think.
a long
that.
way off. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying 10 years. 10 years go quick. 10
Yeah,
years
they
go
do.
quick.
In the gaming
I
industry.
hope not. I got to do another colonoscopy in 10 years.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I might poop in
anyway.
the box. Hopefully, the box
Yeah, just
pooping
pooping-
option is
pooping.
better next time.
Yeah, they might be
around, 'cause I don't
improved.
know
The
if I wanna
pooping
go
in the
through this.
box might
I
be
mean,
better.
honestly, I don't know that the diarrhea is what's bothering me so much as the fact that I can't eat certain things. It's driving me nuts. Once again, I can't have vegetables. Last night we went out to eat. I was like, I really want a salad. Fuck.
Yeah, but it's only for a few days, isn't it? You know, it's not like
Yeah,
forever.
it's me.
Can
when
you-
have I ever really wanted a salad?
Can
Look at
you
me.
can you pick the box you want to poo in, or like a little
Poo in
I
a
don't
box?
think so. I
like
didn't
a
give you
wine
the
box or something, like like a nice
No.
one?
No, it has to be a very special box.
Boring.
What's in the box? By the way,
in
Jason
the
said when we were talking about
box?
sounds, Hyperlight Drifter sounds amazing. Y'all play that?
No, I've never played it.
Deep Space had good sound design. he
No,
said.
Dead Space.
Oh, yeah.
Dead Space.
Dead Space.
Yeah,
Deep
Deep
Space.
Space, Dead Space.
Yeah,
It's all the
yeah.
same thing.
Deep Space.
Deep Space Nine. I got Star Trek on the
I was
brain.
like, what the
I don't know.
hell
I'm
is
in Star
Deep
Trek
Space?
land.
Yeah, Dead Space. Pretty good. Dead Space, I'd agree,
I like
definitely.
Deep Space. Yeah.
Dead
Okay. Are we? Is that it? Are we?
I think we're
That's
done.
now the name of the game.
Are we done?
Shout
we
outs.
just need to do some shout outs.
Shout
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Okay.
It's time for a shout out. Hey!
Duke, off you go.
Yeah, I will shout out Jason. I was gonna say thank you, Jason, for the email. Where's the money, Lebowski? But that was a good title, by the way, for your email. It's probably gonna be a no, but I hate to say never. I'm just so busy this summer, and I'm flattered. I'm really honored. I'm saying all the things I was gonna write in the email, but anyway, he made a proposal. I would actually love to do it, maybe, but. I just don't think I can do it this summer, and that means
Do
I would have
what?
to wait till next summer.
Dude, what are you doing? What are you
he asked
talking
me-
about?
This is between me and Jason. Would you please
don't
not
bring
ensure
it
that
up
a
then.
private
It's
conversation?
but it's not anymore, is it?
No, you brought it up.
He wants to write a story with me. And,
Aw,
I'm honored that he would want to do that because he knows how to write and I know how to write.
You gotta
And I
book it
would-
in, though.
I've never written with someone because my creative process is very solitary. But if it's, I don't know, maybe I should try it.
In my
because they say you
experience,
should
dude,
try-
it's better to
Well, and-
collab
oh.
sometimes. It's better to collab.
Yeah,
in my
I'm sure it is. And Eddie Izzard said I try to do things that I'm scared of, and I think that's a healthy way to think about it. He said not diving belly first onto a spike, of course, but other things. So anyway, shout out to Jason for that. Who else did I have shout outs for? It's in my phone. Hang on, let me pull this up. You'd think I would know because we're about to do shout outs and I should just be ready to go. But here I am. Amar, thank you for being awesome. I have more that I could say, but I want to keep it short. And also, Tainted Brain gave me sushi advice. There was this thing on Reddit that said, apparently it was in a restaurant menu, and it said, the following things are not, like requirement, they're not mandatory, but they are considered good etiquette. So we ask that you do these when you're eating in our restaurant. And it said things like, don't bite the sushi in half, which, okay, duh, I don't know who does that anyway. It said things like, don't pass things from chopstick to chopstick. And apparently that's because it has to do with a funeral process that happens in Japan, which I didn't know about, so that's very interesting. But the one that drove me and the Duchess a little crazy was, do not mix the wasabi into the soy sauce.
Wow.
Wow, that's very specific.
Which I was like, what? Of course you're supposed to put the wasabi in the soy sauce. Apparently you're not. Apparently the good etiquette approach, which according to Tainted Brain, a lot of people don't do. And, it may have been that this was something from once upon a time in the way you're not supposed to put elbows on the table or like chew with your mouth open. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people do it anyway. But apparently you're supposed to put the wasabi a little bit on the sushi and then dip it in the soy sauce, and then it cancels the acidity, I think, or the fat of the fish, and so it's a better experience apparently to put the wasabi right on the sushi itself. So
You know what,
Anyway,
dude?
it's just cool to get a Japanese person's perspective, and his wife, and I didn't know he was married. His wife is, I think, native of Japan.
I was going to say, though, you know what I'll do? When you're in the US with a load of other US people, I think
Do what you fucking like.
do what you want, man. No one
Go to a
cares.
Japanese restaurant, man.
If
There
you
may
get-
be a waiter or a waitress who's judging us.
They're not. If you go to Japan, I'd maybe take some of those
Yeah,
rules into
sure.
consideration. I think in
Or if
in
it
America,
says on
you're
the
fine.
menu in the place we go, if it says please don't do this. But I'm just curious to know if the experience would be better for me to do it the
Well,
quote unquote
you'll have to
right
try
way.
it. You'll have to
So
try it.
again, experimentation. Let's see.
Yeah, stop. Don't pass anything around, though. That sounds a bit morbid.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to also shout out Armar, can I say? Because he sent me a YouTube short, which is like pretending to be TikTok, of
Yes.
a dude cutting a hole in his wall and then making a set of shells. And he said, "This is you, Stu."
He looks a lot like you, Stu.
He sent it to me as well. Yeah.
Yeah, he said, looks a
Yeah,
lot like me,
yeah.
which he kind of did a little bit, I guess. But he did say, I'll give him his due. He said, but you've definitely got better hair. So, I'll take it.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
And he wasn't using a hacksaw much, so you got
No,
him on that.
he was using proper jigsaws and shit.
Yeah, yeah,
I
he
don't know.
was.
So there you go. But thank you for that. Yes, that's fine. I'll also shout out Jacinta for sending us lots of feedback and speak pipes.
Yay.
And also, making it great for Steve this week. So there you go. I'm going to shout out.
Yeah.
I'm a potato.
Steve is loving it. Right, over to you, Chinny.
Just a shout out to the mother-in-law. It's her birthday.
Oh, that's right.
aw,
Yeah.
On Thursday, and so we had all the family round this weekend, and the family has multiplied. We do this birthday every year, and honestly, last year we had like 2 new people added to the family. And now there's like 4 more kids, and I'm like, where are all
Where are
these
these
kids?
kids coming from?
And my dad was saying, like, there's so many of you now, and I was like, I know. It's like we used to have family birthday parties, and they used to last till 3 a.m. Do you know what? Do you know what time this one ended?
20 minutes after it started.
Oh, I was going to go 11:45.
8 o'clock.
Fucking hell.
Because
really, I've got on.
Everyone's too exhausted.
Because Simeon, Simeon Stu, he's got two kids now, little baby Safi and Thea, who's 3. You got Nathaniel, who's got a 5-year-old. I've got Rosa. So honestly, when the kids were in bed, it was like, right, everybody's going to bed, everybody's done, and it was just over. So
I've got to say, Chinny,
Is the mother-in-law ready to party and we're just getting started? Where are y'all going?
oh yeah, she's enjoyed her life. Like she's going to spas every other weekend, and yeah, she's fine.
I was going to say, Chinny, I think your coolness degrees rating has gone down by about 75% there.
I tell you, the degrees in this room has gone up like
Ooh,
5 degrees.
Talking of that, I meant to bring this up. So this week I called the show 100 degrees of coolness.
Oh, yeah.
On behalf of
Yes.
Chinny.
Yeah.
That's right.
I had no clue how you do a degree sign on a keyboard until this week.
Oh, go on then.
I can't remember the exact sequence, but
boring story.
You
There's
press
an alt code.
Alt 0276 or something like that. It is.
What?
So it's something-
There's a whole bunch of alt codes. When
Yeah,
I
yeah.
play Rocket League and I score a goal, I will often write in the chat, "Oh yeah, it's Kool-Aid time," because of the old commercials. Y'all know
Yeah,
those
yeah,
commercials
I know
with the
them.
dudes
Yeah, yeah.
crashing through the wall.
Yeah.
Right. So when I write that, I will write Kool-Aid and then put the trademark sign, which is Alt 0153, and
There you
people lose their shit in Rocket League. How did you do the trademark?
Yeah.
And I was like. And I love messing with them. I go, you just write TM and it does it. And they go, no, T, and they'll write TM over and over in the chat.
Nothing happens.
It's just like, you tool, it's an alt code. And then I'll explain what it is, and they'll like write 0153 in the chat. I'm like, no, it's.
Oh shit!
Oh,
I've
was
just
ITK.
done it, Stu. I've just done it.
Was that right? Was it 0276?
Yeah. Oh
Fucking
no,
hell,
no,
how do I remember that?
it wasn't that. It was 0176.
Oh, so close.
So
I can't
close.
believe I was one digit off. My memory's not
Welcome
bad.
to Veteran
because I
Gamers, where we
did
go
it.
through the alt
Wow.
codes for different symbols.
Isn't it cool though? It's like
I've just learned that. Oh, no,
wow, that's amazing.
That was blown me away.
Yeah.
It blew my mind.
Cool.
So there you go.
By the way, the
Um,
Play My Game bitch for next week is Humanity, in case anyone's wondering. Humanity
Oh,
is
Humanity.
Oh, yes,
oh,
we
yeah.
said about that, didn't we? Humanity. Let's
Okay.
do that.
Let's do that.
It's on Game Pass. Everybody check it out.
Cool.
So yes, it pleased
that it?
me
Are we done?
greatly. Yeah,
I think we're done.
Jenny,
Yeah.
did you do yours?
Oh no.
Yeah,
you-
mother-in-law, wasn't it?
Oh,
you
yeah,
did
you
the
did.
mother-in-law.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you
okay.
did.
I didn't know if you had any others. So.
Nah.
All right, that's it.
Thank you very much, love.
All right, show's over. No refunds. You heard the robot. Get out.
Won't you? Won't you? Won't you? Won't you?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Won't you just take all the
Congratulations,
television
Eric.
and go
You are
do
correct.
something less boring instead? Sitting at home, watch TV, turning up slow to the Won't you? Won't you?
Can I finish? Please, can I finish? Okay, I'm finished.
There you
Cool.
go.
That's
There
a
you
show.
go.
There you go.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
All right, who wrote this in the chat? Nay bother. It's Nee. It's double E. Nee bother.
Oh, I did. Sorry.
Yeah, it's Nee.
Is it
As
N-E-E?
far as I know.
I thought it
yeah,
was.
I think
Isn't
it's
it
double E.
N-I-A? N-A-E.
It's a weird way of spelling it.
N-A-E.
Just a minute. Let's have a
Well,
look.
I
I
did a
thought it
Google
was-
search, and there's a lot of results for NAE by the NAE.
N-A-E.
NEE
Oh,
comes
it
up
is
with
NAE.
anything.
You're right. It's
Yeah.
NAE.
Oh, and Google actually
NAE.
says, "Did you mean nay bother?" Yeah.
Nee
Ne bother. Yeah,
All right, let's
fucking
get it.
bastard.
I knew it wasn't
Chinny is
what you
officially
thought.
more Scottish than Stu.
Bam.
Well, he was wronger than me, to be fair. I was close. I was only one letter off.
But then I corrected myself.
What?
Yeah, I guess. Mind you, you were one letter off as well, weren't you, I suppose? We were both one letter off.
No fooling! I'm from North Kiltown.
Nee bother. Hey, I'd like Armar to play it and tell us how.
Yeah, I'd love to get his. He could just listen to some of it and decide.
Yeah,
what
but he
it
might
is.
think somebody are just having an argument outside, and it's just the dialogue.
Hey,
Yeah. Oh, another ancient evil thing has come up from the deep.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Typical day in Glasgow.
I still can't. By the way, I know we talked about this already, but I still can't get over how much that boss shouted when he was in the office.
Oh, yeah,
It was
that's
just
good.
brilliant.
Well,
It was
yeah.
the best telling off I've ever seen.
Great.
Just brilliant.
Great stuff.
Oh, you've got to watch it. Can you? Even right, Armar, even if you don't play it, just watch it on YouTube and give us your opinion. Let us know. Let us know what you think.
I am gonna fucking murder this bird, man. I
No.
can't.
Oh, it's
I
pretty.
don't really
wasn't
want to murder a bird.
No, I thought you were like a pacifist vegetarian.
Yeah.
You're not giving those vibes at the moment.
That is annoying, Duke. Yeah. That is annoying.
Is that literally what
Is
he's
it?
doing?
Is that annoying?
Yeah, that is.
Is that really annoying
Yeah,
to
yeah.
have that every 5
Yeah.
seconds?
Yeah, yeah, that is annoying.
I wouldn't know what that's like. I wouldn't want to.
Oh, I think I can hear
That's-
him. I think I can hear him. No, not
No, that's
that.
me
No,
hitting-
no.
No, the tweeting.
I can hear
You
him.
can tweeting, yeah.
Could
Oh,
he-
there are birds outside my window. I don't mind that. That's nice, but the fucking go away, you. God,
Do you
damn
think
it.
it's
and there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, make a birdhouse like nearby.
Yeah.
We have 3.
Oh,
Why don't you
Make
make,
a bigger
birdhouse
one.
in your soul? Why don't you make one in your
Make
soul?
a big one.
Make it-
I
make-
see what you did there. They might be giants.
Yeah, exactly.
Make a birdhouse with like a 3-piece settee and like a TV and stuff.
I really don't think that's the problem.
I think
The
so.
internet told me that it's because goldfinches see their reflection and they think someone's trying to go
Aw.
in their
Well,
territory.
put a
So-
mirror up. Put a mirror up somewhere else.
Cover the window.
Yeah, they've no self-awareness, birds, unfortunately.
I don't know that they would go, oh, there's a mirror here. I'll go.
No,
after
like
that
do the
instead."
other one. Like no, but it's like a different. Like cover your
I mean,
window
I
up.
could
Put
maybe.
a mirror up.
I could, but then I mean, where am I going to put it? Near here. Then I'll hear him on the window, or on the mirror.
I don't know. Like about 5 meters away from that window or something. I don't know.
Then I have an ugly mirror in my view. I don't want an ugly mirror in my view. I think it'd be easier to just kill this bird.
Just kill it then. Just Susan Linden Hall will hate this.
I
but
shoot birds at the airport. Everybody hates birds, right?
SLH will
There you
hate
go.
this 'cause she loves all animals. But
Yeah.
just,
Hey, do you wanna-
Oh, and she just lost her kitten. I'm so sorry,
Oh.
SLH. That sucks. Her cat died. Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, Chinny, do you want to know?
oh, anyway,
Well, quick, let's find something else to talk about so we
hey,
don't
do you
end the
want,
show
do
with
you want
that.
an interesting fact, Chinny?
I don't know if I do.
Too bad,
How-
you're going to get a different kind of fact from Stu.
When do you think Rosa will become self-aware? When do you think she'll become reflective self-aware?
Well, she's going through a phase at the moment where she cries when Mom leaves.
No. So there's a point when a baby looks at the reflection in a mirror
Yeah,
and
yeah,
realizes
yeah.
it's them. So how old do you think she'll be when she does that? Do you know?
I don't know, but she fucking loves the mirror. I tell you, she loves the mirror. I don't know how old. No, I don't know. Is
Because
there an
at the
age?
moment she'll think it's another like
Yeah,
baby.
yeah,
She
yeah,
won't
yeah.
realise
sure.
it's her.
But is there
There is. There's a
roughly,
range. There's
roughly.
a natural age. It's around 15 to 18 months, so they're
Yeah.
quite old before they realise.
I think that's quite young.
I I got a lot of students who I don't think are very self-aware. I don't know if it's guaranteed.
But she-
Because I was going to say, like with the Chinese room, like a person can give the impression that they're self-aware, but are they really self-aware?
She's very aware of, like, you know, if I try and check my phone round her back, you know what I mean, without her looking, she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like she knows like what's going. She's really clever, but
I'm the main event right here.
Yeah, I don't know. All parents say that about their children, but she's very aware and she looks at everything. But she loves the mirror. She absolutely adores the mirror. She thinks it's the best thing ever when I walk past the mirror, and she goes, "Rah!" But she's just become aware that she's a separate entity. I think I've been reading up about where she thinks she is the same as her mother. She thinks it's one thing. Like she doesn't realise she's separated from her mother.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? But she's now realised when Mum walks out the room, and she did it with me the other day, which she she very rarely does. But I walked out the room and she cried. So she realises now when people leave the room that they're not in the room, and she doesn't quite realise that they're going to come back yet or anything like that. But she realises. So this is a very precarious. This is why I've had such a rough week, is because she now knows, I think, to call us if she's upset. So yeah, it's been a tough week. But.
Yeah, and you've also got to realise, Chinny, as they get older, they know what buttons to press to get you to give them attention. That's what babies do.
Well, we've had my nieces all weekend. You know, little Thea and Talia and Safi, who's only 6 months. They, you know, they come up with the funniest things, but they're always up to something. Do you know what I mean? There's like Thea's just very quick to say, no, you don't do it like that, Uncle Mike. Okay, all right, thanks. So yeah, it's all very cute.
Yeah,
Listen, I've been on this fucking way longer than you.
Just come in
I've been
the
on this
kitchen
planet for 4 decades. God damn it!
Just come in the kitchen for a second.
Yeah. Just, oh, you've tripped over. Oh,
have you hurt yourself?
Okay. I think we're all good.
I think we're all good.
I got to go make Jello, so I have something to eat tomorrow. I'm supposed to have a clear diet for the next 24 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Jello.
broth and
Jesus
Gatorade and apple juice.
Consomme.
And
You can have some lovely
suck.
consomme. Do you know what, dude? You'd pay a lot of money.
miso broth. That's
You'd pay a lot of money for consomme in a posh restaurant. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
Well, guess what? I got a big jug of miso broth for about $5.
When is it? When is Bum Day?
Yeah, when is Bum
Tuesday
Day?
at 11:30.
Okay, I'll be thinking of you.
So next time you see me, I will have had a
Camera up your arse.
right in the butt.
And you'll be walking.
I expect to hear about that next
Yeah,
week.
exactly.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I'll have a great story to tell, I'm sure.
Waddle when you walk. That'll be you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, have a good week, y'all.
All right. See you in a bit.
Suits you, sir. Suits you.
Bye.